is like a fence that leads to the road, so I do put this halter on just as safety in case he gets too close to the gate because it's open. But some days I'll just let him do his own thing and see where he wants to go and explore. Again, I do have the halter on just for safety in case I have to grab it so he doesn't get to the gate, though I seriously doubt it, but he just walks around and does whatever he wants out here. Make sure he doesn't step on it. I do kind of have it, it's not tied, so if he did step on it, it wouldn't hurt him, but it is pseudo tied, so I got that loop there, so that it also stays on his neck without falling and getting stepped on. Yeah, if he did run off and step on it, it wouldn't hurt him because it's not actually tied. Anyway, so we just have fun. I'm trying to bring him down the hill over that way to the trailer, and he'll mostly follow or stay with me, but he'll also look for grass and whatever he can to eat too. That's his prerogative, so we just do whatever. Here too, this, like, you might think like this is far to be away from him. Horses don't think of far and close the same way as we do. This is still close in his brain, kind of even like within eyesight. They have quite a long range of what is close. Anyway, there you go. Cheers. So here he is going, and I'll bet you it's going over that trailer, because the trailer, the truck, is where the food is. So I didn't do a good enough job tying up the halter, so hopefully he doesn't step on it. If he does, he'll stop. Somehow it stays like right there on the left. I need to figure out a way to get it on his back. It's hard without a saddle to like tie it onto or something. Yeah, he's going right over the trailer to where the hay usually is. The hay and grain. Oh, I got you, bud. His foot. Good boy. Back up. Good. So if he steps on it, he just waits calmly for me to come fix it. I actually should have fixed it better, but he wanted to go again. It's fine. He's trained to like just chill if he ever gets in a bind like that with the halter. It's gonna fall again right there. Oh, sorry, bud. I got you. Back up. There we go. There we go. That should hold. Sorry, okay. I'm gonna get his hay out of the trailer and let him get some munches. Again, that's how I do most things. Right now I am just almost finishing up the trailer. My tack stuff here is just in the pickup truck. There's the brush I want. But he's not tied up. I'll just leave him for the most part. I'll get my hook pick. And he just chills. Because that's what he's supposed to do. Obviously he's got his hay there. But he'd be around here chilling anyway. Doo-doo. There you go. He finds a spot he wants to eat. It's usually a spot it's good to get on. Sorry about that, camera. Nope. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Let him eat for a second while I get my gloves on. Oh shoot, this is underneath the saddle pad. There we go. Give him another 10 seconds. Nope, I'm not going home. This way. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna let him eat here too. Fix my stirrups. These stirrups and this is my training saddle. It's not my competition saddle. It's got really weird stirrups. So I've got my good stirrups in the other saddle. All right, that's good. There's some actually decent grass here, so he really likes it. And I usually let him eat along this corridor, which actually, might not get into it too much here, but I think letting him eat here, which again, I don't have an issue with generally, because when we're working out, he doesn't really eat. But letting him eat here, I think, is why he's getting this learned behavior of being lethargic at the beginning of a ride. So I'm not gonna work on that today, but that is something I'm aware of and I'm gonna work on. Like if you watch the Antelope Island Part 1 and how like lethargic he is, kind of lazy, we'll say, I think it's because of this. And in my mind, it equates kind of like if you're going to the gym to go work out, at least this is for me, or like I'm a runner, so I'm gonna go run. I always have that hard time for the first 10 minutes, like motivating myself and actually getting in the workout. But then when I'm working out, it's fun, it's great. So I'm kind of equating that to him a little bit. But he also has just like a natural, like, meh, lazy streak. So. And there's other factors too. Like again, sometimes in training, what I've done for kind of training him to be less spooky is I'll come out here when there's actually in the summer, when there's actually good grass, and I'll actually just walk it, let him find his way down these rocks. You're okay. I'll let him walk it and eat as he goes. So we'll actually on purpose stop. I have like a cue where I'll say like, oh, stop here and eat. And if he's eating, it lets me know that he's calm. And so we'll do that this whole 2.5 mile stretch on purpose, because it helps really de-escalate and calm him down. The problem with that is, and the problem that I well recognize, is that it kind of teaches him this lazy side effect of like, oh, I can eat along this whole area, or at the beginning of a ride. So I'm also working to get that out. He does pretty good. Like there, he's kind of like stopping and trying to eat, but he does pretty good if I ask him to keep going. So again, I'm more aware of it, and we're working on it, and it doesn't always happen. It's just a byproduct of really trying to get him to be calm as the focus, which I'll take calmness and safety first, and then work on, from there I can work on impulsion and like, hey, time to work. So we're okay. And you'll see later, we're gonna work some. I got a long time to talk, so I'm gonna slow down my talking. I almost never run him along here. I will maybe do a little bit of trotting, but the reason being is like, it's hard to swivel this on my chest camera GoPro. I have to move my whole chest over, but the road is right here, and it's like 65 mile an hour traffic, so they're going like 70, right? And it's semis, it's everything. And he's obviously not affected by it, but he has spooked out here once because like a cat just jumped out of a bush and stuff like that. Very rarely, I'd say like 2 spooks out of dozens and dozens of rides. And those spooks weren't dangerous. He like just boop and then stopped. He's getting to be a really good spooker, safe spooker. But, and also every now and then out here, I find a wire from like this fence, like fence wire, that I've cleaned up a lot of it, but there's sometimes still pieces of it, and I don't want to run through that on accident. The moral of the story is the reason I don't generally run them here is for multiple reasons. First, it's really good to have a nice long warm up and cool down on the place to where I will run. Second, in case of wire or other hazards that I can't see out here because this area is pretty well littered, I'll let him stop and look at stuff. That helps him kind of relax and get his composure. Third is just in case of like random spooks. So if any of those things happened while we were at speed or going really fast, and if he somehow got in his brain to veer towards the road in his fear mode, flight mode, that could obviously be extremely dangerous for both of us. I could probably bail and maybe not die. But if he ran on the road, I mean, it could kill him. So it's just not worth it to me. We don't need to run here. So we just take it easy. And plus, it's actually taught me to just really enjoy my time with Nico and see how good he is. I had it in an Instagram video where I've really learned to not take it for granted just how amazingly calm he's become. Again, that's led to other issues you saw in Antelope Island video 1, or even like this, where he'll stop and look at stuff. But the thing is, I'd much rather take this kind of calmness and him kind of processing things than being a spooky horse that he used to be. I love that he knows that he has like the ability, he has the, like I allow him to kind of process. And I love just how his brain is maturing. And again, speed, all that stuff, we can get there later. So this kind of calmness, again, he's looking at those horses right now. And the lack of spooks, or even the safe spooks when he does do them. Okay, go on. And then he goes when I ask him. See, that's what I want in my horse. And I've learned to not take those simple things for granted. I think we often, maybe, again, I don't want to generalize to all of you, but we often take things for granted, like a safe horse. Horses are inherently just dangerous just because they're so unpredictable. They're a live animal. It's unpredictable. But when we have a safe horse, I kind of make that commitment to myself to never take that for granted. Just that I'm allowed to walk here alongside of, I've had very rarely, but sometimes people honk their horns or whatever. And he has never gotten troubled by this high-speed traffic. Let's go. There we go. And so again, I hope this all puts into context, which you understand, like now I need to train him that difference. So for Antelope Island Part 1, where he's being lazy, like it's not even, lazy is not really the right word. It's just like I've trained him so much to be a very calm horse. And this is it. This is that training. There's a truck pulling out over there to my right. Can't see it again because of my camera. But I've trained him to be calm, and that equated to a difficult part of Part 1 in Antelope Island, not because of him. Actually, he was doing just what he's been trained. Animals are creatures of habit. They'll do what they're trained. And I've trained him to be calm and collected, and sometimes even slow and lazy. And he does really good at not sticking with the herd. So he wasn't herd bound in that race. Good boy. Look at that truck. But it did equate to a lot of these stops. And again, in training, I let him stop. I let him think. I let him kind of equate. Though in the race, it was more my fault for being scatterbrained in the race, where I'm like, nope, we got to go. I know I'm filming. I don't want to be embarrassed by my horse stopping because other riders are going by. It's my own human embarrassment, actually, that was the issue more than anything about him. So again, that's why I'm hesitant to even label him as lazy, even though I genuinely think he also is that a little bit. You okay? I know. Oh, get that scratch on your face, yeah. But more so in Part 1, it's just because he's conditioned like this to be very calm. In fact, we'll wait for this truck. Oh. We'll wait for the truck. Good boy. And I'm just gonna chill. Oh, you gotta poop? It's okay. See, like that and again, I know a lot of horses can do this. I know that we're not like special. Our training isn't just like immaculately perfect, but I'm not going to take for granted that he can do that really calmly. there's an animal bone there. This is funny. So you can't see his face and what's on the ground. There's an animal bone down there, and he paused to look at it like, oh, I'm worried about this animal bone, and then he takes a bite to eat. These Arabians are so smart. Okay, good boy. So that's just kind of funny. He's smart enough to know how to get away with kind of a bite here and there, which is also okay. I'm not going to punch him or anything for that. And you'll see as I move on that in the video, when we get to our actual workout area, I'll keep him more focused over there when we're actually working out. Here, again, I think warming up portion is a great time to get his brain good. Just gonna ride a little bit. I might try to shut up unless I have a really pertinent thought. Over here. Sorry, even if I'm shutting up, I might still talk because I always talk to Nico even though I'm not recording. There's a really good path up on this side here, so we might get on it and actually move out a little. Good job, bud. Okay. Nope, up here. Let's go. There you go. Right in this path here. Okay, Trot up. Do this path more. Come up here. There we go. It's okay. Trot up. So in Antelope Island, part 1, this is kind of what I was expecting. And this is kind of calmness, this loose rein. You know, there's still other things going on. But in training, keep going. You see he's trying to slow down a little bit, but he's a loose rein, very calm, generally relaxed. His ears are a little active, but overall pretty relaxed. And this is how he generally is. Nope, nope, keep going, keep going. He's a little bit zigzaggy because the trail's not too defined. It's okay. Keep going. And my post isn't very good when the trot is so weird like that. Okay, he's got to look at the Evanston Downs. No, we're not going back. This way. That was that left look there was like, I want to be done. I want to go home. I'm not ready for this. And that is him asking a question, and it's a question that I will say no to. Again, like I've talked in other videos, a lot of times I'll say yes to his questions or concerns or let him stop and observe. But when it's workout day, I also act as the leader while telling him like, nope, we got to work today. And that's okay. You don't have to, they're allowed to have an opinion, but they don't get the yes on everything they do. They can't. I mean, it's they're children. They need to be guided a little. Oh, there's a big hole there. Gonna avoid that. I had a thought the other day. I have thoughts all the time, which is kind of why it's nice to bring the actual camera this time so I can record it. But is about you can't really force a horse to do anything, right? Like there's very few things we can actually force without fences or heavy stuff, because they're just so much stronger than us. So considering that, you know, because a lot of people say, oh, just make them do it. You can't make them do it. But there's two different, and this is obviously very simplified, two different types of things. There's begrudging compliance, and that's what we often equate to just making them do it. That's begrudgingly, they are begrudgingly compliant because they're complying begrudgingly. And then there is, how do I phrase the other way? It's willing compliance, which is like, it's the opposite. We're like, yep, I want to do this. I'm engaged with you. I'm connected. I want to do this. We're a partnership. We're a team. We're both on the same page. And I'll say, you know, in a lot of today's horse world and horse training, they'll let him stop and then I'll ask him to go politely and he goes. But in a lot of today's horse training, it's almost thought of as bad to kind of to make him do it. To have, again, begrudging compliance. I don't think it's bad. What I think is bad is when we can't differentiate when to do it and when to let them have a say. If you force them to do everything begrudgingly, they can become resentful, they can become learned helplessness, all that stuff. It's just about, it's the meter of how much you push them. If you can get more and more things to be willing compliance, that's the sweet spot. And that's what we're all shooting for. And I think that's what, you know, I'm not going to discuss too much here, but like I'm aware of like R+ training methods, and I'm aware of let's say on the other end of the spectrum, we'll say like Clinton Anderson, you know, natural horsemanship mixed in there, like there's a wide spectrum of stuff, and I'm not going to diss on any of those. I've read and I watched videos about all different approaches, and I think they're all great, and I think they're great personally when you combine all the philosophies and do what's best for your horse. And of all of those things, you're getting to the point of willing compliance with your partner, and sometimes again, begrudging compliance will be necessary, and that's a-okay. It's just a matter of not always forcing your horse to do whatever. It's got to be a balance. This little stick thing here, you can see that. Hopefully the camera caught it. I don't know, but there's like a little mile marker stick, and I don't know if the camera did catch it. You'll see it's like kind of bent at an angle. One day we're running back, and it's one of the few times I let him run, and we were running back like a full gallop, and he just bulldozed right over that stick. He didn't see it fast enough in the dark or whatever light it was. Anyway, and I was worried about him, but he was totally fine. Just destroyed it. I guess I'd need to go and like re-raise it again. I don't think it's like a super important stick. You can eat. See there, he was asking to eat, and then I let him eat by lowering my reins. That's our signal. So there, like I allowed him, he asked and I allowed him. Versus earlier in the video, when he tried to turn left and go back home, he asked and I denied him. So earlier he was begrudgingly compliant. This time he asked me something, and I am willingly compliant. He's asking and I'm complying. So like I try to give my horse opportunities where I can be willingly compliant to him, and then it allows him in other areas to be willingly compliant with me, again, as opposed to begrudgingly compliant. And this is actually, I would even let him eat longer. When I'm filming, it's like I have more human, because I know I'll post this, so I'm like, oh, I got to keep going again. But I'm just going to try to ride my ride and not think about the video camera as far as what I would do. I try to wait until he's got like kind of a bite full. I look at the ground and see if there's any like particularly lush green spots. And if there is, I'll let him keep eating. If there's no more green spots, then I'll kind of ask him politely to go. So I give him a first cue, let him process, second cue, and then he goes. The first cue isn't really a forcing to go. It's a saying like, oh, I'm ready to go. And then the second cue is like, okay, let's go now. I give him time to think about it. There's this Instagram account I follow, something like Stella the Talking Dog, I believe it was. And Stella has these buttons. She's this dog with buttons. And you've probably seen these are coming more and more common, where dogs are communicating with these buttons that say various words. As I've watched Stella and any of these animals, one thing that's very interesting to me is how long they stop to think and process. And it's different from us humans. This is not a scientific, I'm not a behavioralist or whatever, just observational, anecdotal. But like every time this dog, Stella, does these things, she pushes a button or two, and then she stops and thinks. The human might say something, and then she'll push a button or two. And sometimes it's like 45 seconds to a minute in between, which for us humans is an eternity. But for animals, I think it's a normal processing time. So again, like in some ways, I want my horse to respond very quickly. But in some things, I really want to be cognizant of the time it takes for him to process. We crossed some bones again. He used to spook at those bones, but now he does fine. He doesn't worry about them. There's a deer that have passed away all along here. But I'm trying to get really, I try to be cognizant, and you for yourself, you're learning with your animal, that they take processing time to think. And that's okay. And sometimes that's as long as 45 seconds to a minute or longer. In that case where he was eating, and the first click up on my reins is to tell him I'm getting him ready and let him process. The second click, oh, we're passing like this bag there. Good boy. See, that's as bad of a spook as he'll do. Good boy. It's like a rubber, you can see that rubber mat on the ground. That's a spook, by the way, so that's great. It used to be much worse, but these kind of sessions where I've worked with this spook has really helped. Another carcass here. I'm gonna avoid that. Anyway, time dilation is different for animals than for us. So let them process and think. And again, I totally understand in some of you in different sports, barrel racing or reining sports or whatever, you need your animal to like respond instantly. That's why you train them over time to have instant reactions and instant thoughts. If I really, really, really want to train my horse to have like one click up on the reins after done eating, I eventually can do that. That's fine. You can train them to have habitual responses, which are very quick because their reflexes are extremely fast. Horses are very fast reflexes. But when we're in this type of mode, it tells me, one, he's in his thinking brain, not his reactionary brain, which a reactionary brain is what you kind of almost want to get them into barrel racing or reining or cutting. So he's thinking, and a thinking horse to me, in the regards of what I'm doing with trail riding and endurance riding, thinking brain is so valuable because to me it's safe. And again, you guys can all think of this differently. Like your training might have led you to different conclusions or slightly different. Nico is obviously an individual horse and your horse is individual and maybe different. But I think the principle is overall kind of true. And if I have a thinking horse, which I think I do at this moment, and I can tell when he's getting reactionary. When he's reactionary is when speed doesn't matter to me. Like I can be going fast. If I'm going fast on a thinking horse, I feel safe. If I'm at a standstill on a reactionary horse, I don't always feel safe. Okay, let's go. Number 1 reminder, number 2 reminder right there. Anyway, so a thinking horse is a horse that takes some time to process stuff, and that's okay. I like my horse to think. He wants to eat again here. Fine by me. This is our routine, so I'm going to let him do it. If he finds really, really good grass, I don't begrudge him that. If I found just like the perfectly cooked tenderloin steak, I'd hope someone would let me eat that too. Or take a nibble out of it. You know, that's a bad analogy because whatever, but you get the idea. He's got a good one there. I'm gonna let him go for a second. Okay, 1 click, and then 2 clicks, 3 clicks. It took 3 that time because he's in the middle bite. The reason it's a bad analogy, horses are just different than humans and prey animals like dogs. Dog training and horse training has similarities, but also differences. And my thought, this is a thought to R+. And again, it's not scientific, it's just my observations. I've never dealt with horses my whole life except Nico. Very little experience rather. But R+ training, I don't do a lot with treats, though I do some. But I still do stuff with R+, and here is how, in my interpretation, it is. And again, if you guys have scientific training with this, feel free to correct me or adjust, but I'm trying to open up a viewpoint here as far as R+ is going, because I do pressure and release as well, but I also do R+. The way that I do R+, at least in my mind, is a horse, I think their top number 1 priority isn't food, it's safety. Safety, and then, you know, whatever that pyramid of like needs is, I don't know what it's called, but you know, I'm not gonna list these in order, but safety, food, water, relationships are kind of somewhat of the order, right? But safety for a horse is like number 1 in my opinion. And the way that I interpret that as doing R+ stuff is his R+ or his reward for doing things that I ask him to is I reward him with an area of safety. And you can use treats too. Treats are great. But in my mind, safety and that connection is a stronger motivator because I think that's a stronger thing that they desire. Treat training, if done correctly, I think can be great. But treat training and food or high value food, okay, that's what? That's number 2 or number 3 on the list of the pyramid. 2, 3, there we go. So I think that like providing safety is the number 1 thing that we can do for our horses. As far as like, oh Dane, how do you provide that? How do I do that with my horse? That's a big question. And again, I'm not a trainer. I don't know if I could teach you. All I do is things instinctively a lot of times, and again, that's kind of a cop-out answer. I'm not publishing these videos in the context that I am a YouTube or Instagram trainer. I'm posting these so you guys can learn from my experiences and my mistakes. So I'm not going to pretend to be able to have the ability to equate that to you perfectly, but that's what I strive for. And again, a lot of it, like I just do instinctively, kind of with some level of empathy of understanding my horse's needs. Oh, okay. he asked, and then I stopped him for a second, but then I let him have it. I think he really appreciates that too. When he's asking and I say like, no, okay. I think he really, the reason I said okay here is because this grass is really green here. Anyway, sorry, but I know that's a very rustic view, but in my mind, that's kind of how I incorporate a little bit of R+, and I do some treat stuff too, but I do R+ stuff. It kind of combine the pressure and release with R+, where the reward, and again, I'm doing a very bad job of explaining all this, but pressure and release is generally negative reinforcement. So that's N negative or something. Anyway, there's a chart. I've read this stuff. Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not trained in it. So it's not something I can just rattle off the top of my head while I'm writing. But I do try to incorporate these things kind of by feel. And honestly, I think that's the one thing that a lot as horse owners struggle with, and we're learning. You know, if you're questioning like, oh, how do I do this with my horse, which is what I questioned myself a lot. And when I was researching, and I've watched every YouTube video under the sun of all these different methods, so I honestly had to listen to him for what my cues are to learn how to teach him and communicate with him more than I had to listen to the videos. I used all the videos and the gather, you know, Clinton Anderson this or Pat Pirelli this, or those are just ones that I'm sure you're aware of. There's other ones that I like more. I like Ryan Rose a lot. But I have those in the back of my mind as tools, but then I listen to him and I kind of like see what he needs and what works and what makes him happy and feel really calm and like his thinking brain, which is right now. Okay, ready? Ask once. This might ask like a few times because it's good food here. See, he got up. Let's go. Nope. 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 See, that time I said no because I'm asking him to keep going, and see how slow he's going. That's okay. I'll get him to actually go again. Plus this street, he doesn't like this street. There's this area here that he just really doesn't like. I've noticed this. I've gone it, so I've had to do a lot of work here. But he was a little bit slower there, and that time is more begrudging compliance on his part. But again, that's okay. At first I thought that flag bothered him, but I don't think it's something to do, oh, there's a big wire here, by the way, too. It's something to do with how the ground is there. It's more muddy, and he really hates mud. So anyway, I'm sure that all was clear as mud, but I attempt, whether I'm doing it correctly by any means or not, I attempt to do R+ reward training in the form of giving him safety, a space of safety when he's with me. That's my attempt. And we'll leave it at that because I don't know what else to say about it. If you have questions, or if you're trained and you're smarter than me, which is most likely, feel free to comment. Or you could say like, oh, Dane, your thoughts are totally wrong. That's also okay. I don't have to be right for everything. I am learning. Okay, let's go. This isn't even good grass, bud. Let's go. One thing I do know, scientifically or unequivocally for me, is that I took this horse that was trained, but not discipline trained and not trained for extensively. I wouldn't say ever that he's bomb-proof. He's just got a good mind. And with zero experience, I've been 100% safe with him for 2 years by my approach, which is worth something, right? That doesn't mean I could do it with any horse, because I don't think I could. I know some horses are more challenging, some horses I don't have the skill for. Nope. Hey, I'm actually going to pull him hard there because I want him to keep going. There you go, good boy. And he's not frustrated right now. Like those blowouts are good. It usually is a release, but he's not frustrated right now. Even though I was very firm with saying like, no, I don't want to eat here. He's kind of getting in a little more into the lazy mindset, and I don't want that. But so he's just going along. Okay, let's trot. Got a good little area here to trot. Trot is about as fast. I've gone faster, but for the reasons I said earlier, I don't like to go faster here. Oh, there's a dead animal there. slope. The reason I slowed him there is not because I was worried, not because anything wrong. Oh, you got a little poop? No. Okay, let's go. But because this area is muddy, and I know he doesn't like the mud, and I respect that. I teach him to go in the mud, and we can run in it. But I also know he doesn't like it, so I do appreciate and respect it. Plus, I really like short trot segments like that, especially at the beginning of the ride, where we can go, trot out, calmly slow back down. I love that it's calm. Even if he comes to a complete stop there, that's fine by me. Anything I can do to get him to be calm is great, because I can keep teaching him how to go back to speed as we go along, and he does pretty good getting to speed when I need him to. There's a cat over there. Man, his eyes are so good. I'm surprised I noticed it. It's way out there by that hay bale. Good boy. Oh, good boy. You want a bite? So sometimes if he wants a bite, I'll pull him up, go over here. I'll bring him to a specific spot. And when there's better stuff, right there. When there's better stuff, it's easier because I can find like a really good stick of alfalfa or something. But right now, like there is different from the spots I've done previously, where he asked, I said no, but then very quickly I said, I pointed to a spot I wanted to go and said yes. I do that a lot too, so he's realizing that I'm a fair leader, that like he can ask stuff, he might get told no, but I did recognize and understand his want and his desire, and then I acknowledged it down the road in a short enough time frame that he still knows that I'm listening to him. And plus, there just happened to be a really good little patch of grass here. I'll tell you, anyone who's wondering, the pros and cons of doing training like this is, the cons are that you do get a horse that tries to eat a lot, right? So I understand that. I accept that. I deal with it. So you do get a horse that thinks that like, oh, he can just stop and eat whenever he wants. And I'm trying to train and work through that. It's just like, I know that it's a long process to work so that he's eating when I ask him to. Good boy, that took only one asking to get up as opposed to two. See how compliant he was with that? It's so good. I love to see it like when it actually works. But he's getting more compliant with stuff like this because I also allow it when I want. And then he's also not frustrated when I say no, like there he was about to dip for one. But yeah, the con of it is you do get a horse that will try to eat. My goal, oh, he's smelling something. My goal is that eventually he doesn't try to eat as much, because I know that when we find a good patch that I'll allow him. So that's the goal. The pro to this kind of training that I've done is I have a very calm thinking horse. For me, it might not be the same for you. Your horse might not train this way. I don't know. Anyway, those are the pros and cons. You want to trot a little? It's okay. Trot. See how gentle that is, though. Also, I have to say, I just verbally say it. I give him the slightest tap with my boots. I have nothing against people who wear spurs, who wear them correctly. I just don't wear them because I don't think I'm a good enough rider. There's the saying, earn your spurs. I definitely haven't earned them. And even if I did, I have a horse that I don't think I need them with. And again, I don't have a problem with, I'm not going to get into the debate of spurs or bits and all that stuff. I don't have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with any tool used with the best intention of the horse in mind. That's my number one rule. I think we as horse owners need to get much more, in general, much more forgiving of people that do things differently than us, as long as those people aren't abusive. We always need to get braver at calling out literal abuse, but being understanding for people that do things differently than us. I've listened or watched like every YouTube about the pros and cons of bits or this or that, and I have my opinions, but I'll talk about it in another video. If you guys want me to talk about it, you ask me and I'll talk about it on a ride someday. It's okay, easy. But again, I don't think that those things are inherently evil, is I guess my point. And so we shouldn't ostracize people that do things different. Sorry if that's like a derailing. I personally love and appreciate every person, regardless of what tools they use, as long as they care and love their horse. That's my number one qualifier. Oh, buddy. And the reasons that I don't use spurs or bit might surprise you. It has nothing to do with philosophy. Good. Okay. Up here on this road part, I'm gonna get off and walk because he's not shod right now, and this is the rockiest section. So we walk up, I ride him up as long as their shoulder, and then at the road part I walk, and then we'll go to the part where we're really gonna ride. Sorry if I derailed there with the bit spurs thing. Again, I want everyone, whoever watches these videos, to realize that I think that you're doing a great job regardless of what you use. And if anything, I'm trying to get away from the stigmas of judgment. Ready? Let him think here. This is the spot of that he needs a little bit of time to like realize. He knows when we go up there that we usually work, so that's what this is. And again, he just like before when he's asking to eat, he lowers his head. He's like, oh, I want to eat. Here, he's asking, can we be done? So this is him asking. You know, it's a long ask because he's processing, he's thinking, he knows we go up the hill, we got to work. He's saying, no, I don't want to work today. And some days I brought him back. Today we're not, we're going to keep going. But this is him asking. This is my horse asking, no, I want to go back. His breathing, he's not breathing heavy because he's working. He's breathing because he's thinking. I'm going to let him keep asking. And then when I feel like he's in a spot where we're connected, I'll try to get him to go calmly. Okay. I just waited until I could feel his face and his... See, even he was drifting left instead of right. It's because he still is just being a little bit unsure. Or a little bit begrudgingly compliant. There are moments like this where I know that I could push him a little harder. Today is like this type of training that I wanted to do today isn't the focus isn't this segment. So another time I might come out here and focus just on this segment to get him to be really compliant with going up. That's not the focus of today's training, so I'm doing it like I normally would, just taking my time and going slow and letting him process. But I totally acknowledge that there will need to be some time more training where I come up here and do this, where he's like, nope, we're going, let's go, like definitively, let's move out. You know, we're not going to lollygag here because this creates kind of stop gaps. So I know that that's going to be part of our training one day, just not today. In that case, what I would do is probably bring out something like a crop, or if I had spurs, that'd be the time to use them. It's like, nope, we're going right now, let's go. That would be a time where I think it'd be totally fine to like kind of use one of those tools to train. Like, I'm asking something, I want a pretty swift compliance here. You know that we've done this, you know how to do it. You're not okay, let's go. You're not thinking for thinking's sake. You just don't want to do it. That moment is like a laziness moment, right? And when it's a laziness moment, not a fear moment, or not like something else that's the issue, sometimes they do need to be pushed. This leads me to another thing that I've thought a lot about frequently with horse training is times to push and times to allow like for reflection depends on the state of mind in your horse. What if the state of mind is coming from, I don't want this, laziness, it's totally okay to push, to be aggressive with like, nope, I want this, nope, I want this behavior. If their state of mind is coming from one of fear, that's a time where it's okay, in my opinion, to let them process, let them think, and show leadership, sometimes by action. So an example of that is here on this stretch. It's a little bit laziness. He's done this road dozens or hundreds of times actually, because we've been on this a lot. Come on. So he knows this road. I know he's not afraid. I know it's lazy. I know that he's just being a little bit like, nope, I don't want to work. So I'm okay to push. I know this. Versus, let's say I'm asking him to go into a very small stream, like a half-foot deep stream. And he hates streams, so he's legitimately afraid of it. Has a little bit of fear. in that case, I might let him process. Sometimes I'll even get off and like lead him through. Sometimes I'll like do it from the saddle. It depends on the situation. But my point is it's okay to like change what you're doing if it's fear-based versus laziness-based. Pushing and drive is okay for laziness-based versus I like to do draw, and I like to work with his natural draw, and I like to work with leadership, like showing him the way when it's fear-based versus drive for laziness-based. And if you guys are aware of like the difference between drive and draw in horse training, it's a big thing. Might talk about. Good. Man, there's so much littered little bottles out here. I love it. These FedEx drivers and the UPS drivers and the mail drivers, they all like know us because we're out here so much. See, I have a really good gauge of his default walking speed. His default walking speed is about 3.2 miles per hour. I know that because I just know that. This walking speed right now, this begrudging like, oh, do I have to, is about 2.2 miles per hour. It's so much slower. And again, I allow it. It's okay. We're gonna work up here, and it's fine. This is the equivalent of working with the teenagers. Like, oh, mom, dad, do I have to? Do I have to take the trash out? Oh, that's what this is. And you know what? That's okay. I like it up here. Go back on. Good. A little piece of just crap on the ground. He didn't even give it a second thought, which is great. I love it when there's stuff that don't bother him at all. Okay, let's trot up. Even when he's like not really wanting to do stuff, and even there's the FedEx truck over there delivering a package which is out of the normal, he's still so willing to just go into a trot very easily. That's what my goal is. That's what I'm working for. That's what I love to see. Now up here there's a culvert, and he really hates this particular culvert because it's pretty new and still spooks him a little. So we'll walk here. We're about to the point where we'll dismount. It's okay. That was great that he went into that little trot though, even with the FedEx truck. Good boy. He knows that this is where we usually get off. That's I think why he stopped, because the FedEx truck was there, and because this is usually where I dismount to walk up. See the culvert that it's actually a really good response. He's finally learning about it. Ho. Give him one ho. Didn't even have to pull on the reins there. Good boy. Give him a little itch. He's rubbing on me. You can't see it because where the camera is. That's okay. I usually let him rub and give some loves. Good boy. Okay, let's go. And then we'll walk up here. If he had shoes on, I would just ride him on, but barefoot, I still walk him on this because honestly, there's no need to ride him up it right now. It's not even that bad. It's actually pretty good, but it's a courtesy I'm willing to give him. And honestly, it's really good for me. I've been trying to get back in shape. Maybe one of these days I'll post a video of me doing my running. I used to run half marathons, Ironman races, etc. I used to be in pretty great shape. The last few years, about 2.5 years ago, is that long now? Man, I had a stomach surgery that knocked my fitness to 0. And so since then I've been really trying to recover. And I owe it to him to recover, so I'm working on it. Okay, our battery's about to run out, which is perfect. Battery will probably run out by the time we get to our riding point, which will be a perfect segue to switch batteries. One cool thing with a training ride, I can take the time to switch batteries on the go because I'm not worried about the actual race portion. Funny thing is, even doing my Antelope Island and City of Rocks, it's not like I'm actually racing, but I'm just such a competitive person in my mindset is I want to just keep going. So I don't take the time to stop in the middle of nowhere and change the batteries, even though I could, because it wouldn't really affect our time that much. But that's one of the things that I don't feel the need to change. Good boy. Again, one thing I do really love about this side pole, good boy. It's great. I'm not going to unclip it because I don't need to right now, but I can unclip it. He can eat and drink real easy. This is one of the big reasons I use the side pole. It's very easy for him to eat on the go without a bit. So that is one of the pros. Okay, I'll tell you this is the story of why I use a halter and a side pole to ride him. And sadly, it's not out of any super virtuous philosophy or whatever. It's out of laziness on my part. So when I was first training him, or really getting used to trying to ride him, what I would do is I would put a saddle on and I'd just leave him in his halter because I had no plans to ride, but I just wanted to have a saddle on him. And I'd take him out on these long walks in hand. We'd just go walking with the halter in hand, going long walks just being saddled up. And then one day it's like, oh, he's doing so good, so calm. And so I decided to just jump on, and I knew a knot to make the halter into like reins. So I just tied the knot on, jumped on and rode him in the halter. And he did so good, because previous to that, I just ridden him in a bit, a little snaffle everywhere. When I first bought him, the rides I'd done in arena once I had him. But he did so good with the halter on that day. The next day it was like, well, I could take, and it was winter time, I think, so I didn't want to warm up the bit and all this. Like, I'll just ride him in the halter again. And I did, and he just responded so well to it that I've been riding with the halter or side pole ever since. So that's the story. That's basically, it's just a matter of laziness on my part. Sorry, the camera angle here is garbage, I'm sure. I apologize. You don't have to put up with it much longer. But he responds so well. And honestly, the other part of it is we're riding, because I've done probably 500 miles in a halter, probably 300 miles in a side pole, about 40 miles, mostly arena with the bit. But what the halter and the side pole taught me is if he's ever getting to a point in his brain where he's even remotely hard to control, even remotely, I know we're going too fast for our current level of training. Now we've gotten to the point where I can gallop with him in either of those tools and he's fine. But before we got to a gallop and he was just getting a little out of his head, it's too fast. And that was perfect with our training at the time because we did 300 miles of just walking, which really helped. I didn't allow myself for him to trot or canter at all. That's part of our conditioning program. But when we started doing it again, like it meant that I slowly metered him into higher speeds, so he was always in control. And it's made such a big difference. So now he does relatively good. And we'll see as we get up here and we actually ride, I'll show you. We'll see today how he's doing, if he does really good or just okay. I don't know. It's not always perfect, but it's usually pretty good. And the one difficulty I have with that is in an actual ride with other horses, we don't train with other horses like at all. So that's where he gets a little more amped. He's not herd bound, but he is more amped and he is competitive. So that's in the videos like City of Rock specifically, I feel like that's where we had some issues. Or Antelope Island Part 3, we had some issues with him getting out of his head because we don't have an opportunity to really train with it. If we did have an opportunity, I would definitely train it, but I just don't. So I do the best with what I got, and we're still getting better. Car coming up. Go over here. Wait here. This might be Jordan. I don't know. One of my friends. We're gonna cross here. Nope, come on. Buddy, come on. Nope, let's go. That's funny. The reason there was that little, so I should have let him a second, I think, there, but I didn't. But the reason that there's that little stop there is down that road to the right there that he's looking. Some of his friends live down there. That's where he's boarded for about a year and a half. So he knows that down there is his friends and probably food and water and stuff. They're smart, they remember. He's like, and he knows this way is work. Not too much longer of this weird viewpoint. We're gonna come up here. It's about another 0.1 of a mile. We'll go through a gate and then another gate. And then over in that area is where I'll switch the batteries right there, even if the battery hadn't run out, and continue filming from there. Yeah, the rest of this video will probably just be this boring ground viewpoint, just because I'm still not gonna mount up quite yet. I could ride him here. There's enough of a little shoulder here that I could ride him on the grass. The reason I won't is this gate, we haven't, the way it's designed, you can't do it in the saddle. The second gate you can do in the saddle, but this gate you can't because it's 2 panels and one of the panels blows up, so I can never do it in the saddle. You might could if your side pass is perfect. My side pass is far from perfect, so I just still do it. I've attempted it, but today I'm not going to attempt it. I just don't care to want to. Oh, there's our friend too. Our friend up here riding on this beautiful day. I still don't know her name, but I talk to her almost every time I'm out here. She's a really nice lady. You can see up there. Beautiful little Palomino, or big Palomino. It's big compared to Nico. Everything's big compared to Nico. Nico's small. Good boy, Bubby. I might have to take my coat off at the gate. I'm sweating. It's turned out to be a really nice day. And now I'm going to be doing some actual riding out there. I'm going to be sweating more, probably. Might have to take it off. No. Hey, doing good. How are you? It's surprisingly been such a mild December. It's so nice. Good, good for you. Friday, I work Sunday through Thursday, so. Oh. Hey, buddy. We're
normally we go to Canada.
Oh, cool. But just didn't pan out. We're about to go out and do some so I moved him where he lives now. Now we live by the Evanston Downs.
Okay.
So I ride him all the way up here, but up this hill in this part, I have him barefoot again. I did figure out some shoes, but he's barefoot again for the winter. So I walk him up this stretch and we're gonna go do some hard riding, so. Huh. Hey, that's great. That's not a just, that's sometimes the best, is just a calm, great little ride.
It is.
You're looking good, huh? Oh, bud. All right.
Have fun.
Good to see ya. Yeah, we'll be careful. I feel bad. She knows my name, but I don't know hers. She told me and I just forgot. Nope. Buddy, come on. Again, that bulk is because he knows there's work this way. All right. The way this gate swings, it makes it almost impossible to do mounted for me. Come on. I don't like to pull forward like that, but if I do it really softly, he'll eventually get it. If I need him to move forward and he's not, like sideways movements usually work really good. Let's go. You're okay, come on. On our way back, I'll ride him up this portion. because I can open the second gate from the saddle and close it. But on this way, I'm just gonna stay dismounted. And this will give me an opportunity up here to change the GoPro battery. You okay? I know. Yes, he wants to go with that horse. It's okay. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. My fake little butt bops. It's more just a tap to get him to pay attention to me. If I waited long enough, he eventually would break out of looking at the other horse and just come naturally. But I just want to go. So come on. Nope. And now this one. See again, I didn't even hit him there. I just need to wake up. So I was going to pull sideways with the rein. I can't pull forward with it. Well, I don't know about they, but he doesn't really respond well to the forward pull. And like the pressure of pulling forward this way with a side pull is like, it's not good pressure. It makes them more resistant versus kind of putting just a soft touch left or right, and then putting just even my gaze and a little bit of pressure on his rear end, kind of like a rear end yield release. That gets him to kind of snap out of the mindset. Much more effective than just pulling forward. Pulling forward just causes them to like, not rear, but rear backwards, go backwards, pull against the pressure. See, like this. See, he'll do it because he's good, but you see that initial like pull against. Nope, come on. What? Oh, you're pooping. That's why that was that stop. Okay. They can walk and poop, but come on. Good boy. Let's go. I usually let him stop and poop. I just didn't realize that's what he was doing there. That's another philosophy type thing, and this is my opinion on it. It's fine, you can do whatever you want. Sometimes if he decides to poop while he's moving on the move, let him do it, that's fine. But if he wants to stop and poop, I also let him do that because, I mean, they don't want to poop on themselves or whatever, you know, comfort, whatever, so I let him because it doesn't bother me. It's actually also, in my mind, an indicator too of his state of mind. If he is pooping on the go, and this isn't true, like if your horse does this, this is not true for all horses, by the way. It's just for me with Nico. You have to decide if, for your horse, if that's what they're kind of communicating, because they could be different, just whatever. But this is not a wholesale statement for all horses. But for Nico, if he's pooping while he's moving, it usually means there's a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of fear. If he's stopping and pooping, it's usually because he just wants to, or because he's thinking about something. He's just nervous enough to poop. So funny talking about poop so much for horses. It's just whatever. But all right, I'm gonna bring him in here, turn off the camera, and replace the battery for our next segment. So I'll let him eat while I do that. So I'll see you in a few. Come on. Over. I'll take this off, and I'll just throw this over the saddle. Just let him go do whatever he wants to do. Okay, that's part one. Okay, we're filming. This is literally all I've done since the last film was just change the battery. He chose not to eat, mostly because everything else is pretty dead and not appetizing, I'm sure. And he's full because I feed him really well before. This is him being not ready to go. So I'm gonna see how he goes. He might, this first part, and again, I'm showing you this candidly. See, that this is the argument. Begrudging compliance, right? This first part, he's gonna argue the most. Slap him on the butt with my hand. I don't have a crop. I don't have, you know, which this is the part where if I had a crop, I would need it here for just like two seconds. But once he's going, I just got to get him in the mindset of realizing that, yep, this is what we're doing today. And you'll notice here as we go on, he'll try to like, generally he'll try to lean left because he wants to like loop back to the gate. As I say that, he leans right. It's funny. Always trying to prove me wrong, huh, bub? We haven't been out here for a little while, so. It's actually funny. I think the reason he doesn't want to be in that track, even though he usually likes that track more, is just because it's a little bit more snowy. He's still getting used to the snow again this year. Okay, let's go. See how it's taken a little more encouragement than usual to get the trot? It's because he knows. Let's go. He knows that this way is, that this is the work loop. But he's still loose here on the rein. He still does it. Just a little bit of, again, begrudging compliance. I'll see how much I can shut up on this one just so you guys can have the ASMR of riding. But that's hard for me to do. Again, I talk so much even when I'm not recording. Come up here. Okay. Okay, let's go. Whenever I get a chance, actually maybe what I'll talk about a little bit is my training style and training philosophy for fitness, for getting a horse ready to do a 25 or a 50. Not that I have a lot of experience, but now I have enough experience because I have done both. And most of my experience actually comes from, keep going, training myself for races. I do know how to train myself, and I just apply a lot of the same things to him. This part I want to still trot, bud. It's flat enough. There's some parts up here that we will walk because they're kind of downhill enough, and then we'll run a lot at the end. About a mile and a half out is where we run more. But here, on this great little flattish stretch, it's slightly downhill. I do still want to trot up. Get him to wake up a little. Of course he's not pulling left at all this time. That's so funny. Okay, you can walk here. Okay. He hates this hill forever. We've trained on it. I think it's just, what I've come to think is that in his mind, this hill marks the breaking point of no return of like, oh, I've got to work out. And I think that's why he's just always hated it. It's kind of funny. Plus, I actually am trying to figure out, I'm going to talk to a saddle fitter here pretty soon because I'm trying to figure out if you have to pee. It's a pee stuff. Yep. No? Trying to see if he's actually peeing. He didn't tent his legs. This might just be. Come on. This is just okay. So that's just begrudging of the hill. I thought it was a pee step. But he's not tenting his back legs. Okay, let's go. So, again, he's smart enough to make me think that he's trying to pee. That's okay. I might need to talk to a saddle fitter, or I'm going to. Come on. To see if there's something that's sore on him with going down hills. Most downhills I walk. This downhill I am going to ride because it's very short. I'm not making him run it. And I do want to get this compliance out of him. This is one spot where I do want some compliance. If this was a longer hill or a harder one, or if I knew it was hurting him or something definitively, then I would dismount because I would never hurt my horse. But, and in a race, I actually walk down a lot of these. But for now, I need him to get to like, yep, you can walk downhill too. Come on. So it's just picking and choosing which kind of training moment you want. And right now I want a training moment where we stay mounted and go down the hill with relatively good compliance. Oh boy. Because I think part of what is begrudging this with this hill is my fault for being too easy on him sometimes. And I've ridden him down it a lot too, but I'm honestly just not 100% sure. Every time I come here, I try to now analyze what he's thinking and feeling. And like I said before, my best guess is that he just knows that past this point is kind of the workout point. In which case, what you could maybe do is like you could work him on this point, and then after this point you could not work. So you realize like, oh, there's comfort on the other side. You could do stuff like that. I haven't done stuff like that because my main training philosophy is there is something to be said for making the right thing easy and the wrong thing hard. That's, I think, totally fine. A way to approach many things. My philosophy is I want my horse to be connected with me and do what I ask in any situation. If I want him to run a barrel race fast or slow, I want him to do either one at command. Sorry, that might not have made sense. I'll have to like expound on that thought. But so my thought with that is with barrel racing, sometimes I've seen people teach the horse that like, okay, they can't just run fast home. They have to run fast through the whole thing. Otherwise they get sour to just running towards the gate fast or something like that. My philosophy is I don't want him sour to running fast home. I don't want him sour to running fast out. I want him to just run fast whenever I need him to. The other day, what I did is I took him to a flat stretch at home, and I practiced. What I did is I practiced like a spot where we just go, walk, or trot. And he had to listen to me of which one I was asking for. Sometimes I'd ask for just like this wild, crazy, full speed gallop right off the gate from walk to 100 miles an hour. Other time, and then the next time I did it, I asked him to do it at walk. But he was like, oh, I'm ready to run. The reason I did that is because I want him to listen to me for what the gate input is, the speed input, and being in tune. I might really be digressing with my thoughts here, but the point is I don't necessarily think of anything as just like of conditioning just a behavior. If you want an excellent, sorry to use barrel racing as an example, I'm just familiar with that a little bit, but if you want an excellent barrel racer, you might want them to be just purely conditioned to barrel race, right? You might not want a horse that is thinking in that moment. That's fine, because if you're at the elite, every millisecond counts, right? And again, so that's fine. If that's your training goal, do you have to pee? He's acting so weird. Come on. So if that's your training goal, that they come on, that they just run the pattern without thinking, that is totally fine. I'm not dissing on that mentality at all, because again, for hard competition, you're gonna beat Nico and me all the time. That's fine, because we have different goals. I'm just saying, for me, for my horse, I want to be where whatever I tell him how fast to do at any given thing is what he does. And again, you're seeing right now like a lot of flaws in that he's not perfect, right? He just stopped because he wanted to. He's not doing what I ask, right? I'm aware of like the flaws in our relationship, the flaws in my training. Okay, come on, let's go. Here, I'm gonna get a little more aggressive with him because he's not just peeing. So I'm aware that I don't think perfect, and I know it, and I'm not pretending to be perfect. What I am saying is I know what my goals are, and they're different for different sports, different outcomes for how you want your horse to behave. So again, if you're a barrel racer, I advocate and think that maybe you should train your horse to just like literally they could do the barrels without you on their back because they're that trained to it as fast as they can because they don't have to think about it. That's great. For my horse, if I was to go and do barrels, I'd want him on a dime. I'd want, not to say that he would, but I'd want for him to like this part go fast, this part trot, this part walk, all whenever I asked, whatever I asked, and it doesn't matter, just based on what I asked. Oh, you can do this. We've done this before, come on. Good boy. He used to hate this, but he's got so much better. Good boy. Anyway, so like I know that there is a disconnect too between what I want and what I currently have, but we're getting better all the time because I keep my goals in mind through the process and I don't beat myself up or Nico up when we don't achieve those. Is there any elk out there today? Or sorry, caribou? Caribou, it's out here all the time. You okay? All right. Let's go. Now here, from here on, we have a pretty good stretch where we can just go. So I'll shut up for a while. That's right. guys are probably so thankful that we're trotting out and going so you don't have to hear me talk. Diagonals there. You see how he listens to me every time I talk? If I've been silent for a while. Oh, you're okay. For there, he thought maybe that was time to slow. I love that he listens though. I really love that. See, as soon as I say something, boom, it's perfect. I really appreciate that about him. You okay? Keep going. This kind of speed here, it's probably maybe 6 miles an hour. It's not a fast trot. It's kind of a narrow trail. This is a great speed for endurance training for longer rides, because your horse can go this speed for a long time just fine, just safe. Even if they're out of shape, you can do that kind of trot very good. And before, a long time ago, I'm so happy because he will do that trot now. Versus before, it's just it was one speed only, like a billion miles an hour speed. Come on, stay here. But now he's happy to go at a calm little trot, which I love. Yeah, your horse can pretty comfortably do this trot for a long time. Stay on the trail. See, now he's doing that lean left thing I was telling you about. Stay on the trail. I do not know why he doesn't like to stay on the trails. If he's going to pull over here to this right side, that's fine. As long as he stays to the left of this trail, I don't care where it goes. Nope. Let's go. Now, it might be more comfortable for him on either side, but I know there's no rocks on here. I know it's a little bit narrow for his hooves. It might be a little harder work, but that's okay. As long I would let him off if it's rocky here, but not being rocky. I don't want him drifting just for the sake of drifting. There's a rock. Okay. We're stuck on this little downhill part. Good boy. I hold on to the pommel there because this, like I've mentioned in Antelope Island, just to keep my balance while we're going down a hill. Keep off his back roll. Someone commented on my other video that I might be doing that kind of I'm calling it a 2-point. I don't know if that's what it is. Might be doing it wrong, so I'm still researching into that. I need to, over the winter, I'm trying to ride with some more experienced people. I'm trying to set up some stuff so they can really teach me a little bit more on my riding. Okay, ooh, there's a little dip down here somewhere. So again, I'm working on it. But as of right now, without a teacher, I'm up here. Without a teacher, I kind of still do what I know and what feels comfortable for us both, and I know what he does well with. So, but yeah, I'm looking for that. I don't have an instructor out here. I can't afford one, but I do have trying to get with people that can help me. Good job, buddy. Right up here, there's a little dip. This is still not the core part of our workout. This is our warm-up. He's like, oh, we warmed up the whole walk here. Well, yeah, this is just how I do things. Actually, even more than a warm-up, this part of the trail I don't particularly love to run, except for just certain portions. Down there's a better trail, and then back it's really great. Nope, stay in the trail. Stay in the trail. for whatever reason, and if you guys know, tell me, I have my hypotheses, but if you guys know, feel free to speak up. For whatever reason, he does not like to stay in these trails, these little defined trails. If I'm running, he'll stay in it because it's just easier. But if I'm not running, if I'm at a walk, he will meander like crazy unless I like actually steer him. And these spots with rocks, it makes sense because I know he likes to avoid the rocks because he's, again, barefoot right now through the winter. But when it's not rocky, I honestly just don't have a full understanding. I know if he goes that way, in his mind, like, oh, that's home, you know. But that way is the fence, so he doesn't usually he doesn't lean to the right. Anyway, does your guys' horses do this or what? I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's kind of like a divot and he doesn't like the balancing of having to place his hooves like this. It very well could be something like that, versus out here he can be a little more square. Could be a balance thing. You can go in here as long as you don't go left. Okay, there you go. See, he chose not to walk into it even though it's left. I don't know. It's interesting. But he's very consistently, every time we go out here, it's like I have to choose whether I want to fight it to keep him in the track or to let him wander a little. Again, I haven't totally figured it out. And from my viewpoint, like, well, why do I want him to stay in the track? Honestly, literally just to try to teach him, like, hey, I want you, like, if I fell asleep right now on your back, would you keep going the way I told you to go? That's mostly it. I don't mind him wanting to kind of find the best footing for himself. In fact, I encourage that, but I also want him to be autopilot if I need him to be. Like right now, just autopilot. If I had to like Hidalgo this across the desert and I fell asleep, boy, if that happened, he would eventually figure it out and he'd go back home. I do know that. He might not do a straight line or on the track, but he would get me back home. If you guys are working on training your horse, I've done this whole stretch that we just did. I've done it at a run before, or at a trot. Today I'm walk trotting because I don't really love to trot this section, but also because we haven't worked out hard for about a month. But if you are trying to leg up your horse, this type of stuff is good, where you can trot and then walk and then trot, walk. This is at least my interpretation of long slow training. Long slow distance, LSD, not the drug. It's okay. Here's that. Now here he's leaning left because there is a trail here, but we're not taking this trail today. We're going to the end trail. So there's one trail we go right here. It goes left. It cuts back. We're going a little longer route. We're going this way and hitting off this trail. And hopefully we find this old horseshoe. There's one horseshoe out here I know where. I know exactly where the stretch is. I just don't know where it is. If it's off to the side or not. Once we get that fence up there, we'll turn left down the hill. Once we get to the bottom of the hill, we'll start running again. Good boy. He's familiar with all these trails. We've ridden them so much. Sniffing something. There's probably the caribou or something out here. It's been fun a few times out here. We've been spooked on by birds, rabbits. These, I don't know what kind of rabbits they got out here. Jackrabbit type things. They're pretty big. Caribou herds. One caribou herd spooked us like over the top of this hill one time. Caught us off guard. That was fun, and that was back before he was kind of more spook proof. Had to ride that one out. But it's good. I like those things to happen in training, where it can relatively safe, relatively close environment to home. You know, I have my emergency tracker on, etc. That's on in a ride too, but obviously it's just good. I like to train the hardest things so that later those things are not hard anymore. I like to go out in storms and crap. Good boy. You good? You want to bite it? Good. This grass sucks. Okay, it's going to be easy to get him to go again here because the grass sucks so bad. Okay, this way. Good boy. We could almost step over that fence, couldn't we? A few rocks here. Okay, somewhere along this stretch moving forward is where there is a shoe. It's a plastic, easy care shoe. I'm glad that it hasn't snowed enough to bury it yet, so if we find it, we can retrieve it. Okay. Okay. We'll let him meter his own speed here. He knows his footing, so you might want to go faster, you might want to let his speed. Sometimes you have to go faster here. That whole stretch, I don't ask him to go faster, I don't ask him to go back to the trot. I let him do what he's comfortable with. I am holding on to the pommel here. Again, I just admit I'm not an amazing rider. And when the ground is this bouncy, even at a canter, I have no shame in just kind of holding on. I still work my body the same, like I try to roll with the ride, but I do hold on. If it's like a flatter area, I can do it like in a more proper form. The reason I'm telling you this is just so you guys know that I know that I'm not great and I'm getting better. And you guys also know that I do actively work so hard on becoming a better rider, working on my core, my balance. So, just so you know, it's not because I do it because I'm not afraid of I think some people think it's like taboo to hold on, and again, like one thing I don't hold on, I never hold on to his mouth with the reins. This is Rocky's here, so anyway, so I am focusing so hard on being better, and it might take me a while, because you guys, I have not ridden my whole life until Nico, really, as far as real riding. So I've ridden a few things that like walks, but that's it. I'm gonna go back down the hill, bud. So again, if you're better than me, that's great, good for you. And I encourage, and I love to see people that are better than me. Like, most of them are, I've ridden with kids that were younger than me, just infinitely better riders. And that's, I think, a blessing. Great, good for them. I received a comment, and this is not, I'm not calling out this person. In fact, I appreciate people's comments on my videos. But I did receive a comment from my City of Rock video, something to the effect of like, a lot of horse and not a lot of rider. And again, I give credit or credence to that comment. You can eat if you want. I don't diss that person. I'm not antagonistic towards them. I'm gonna assume it's not just a troll. but it's like, it's not really constructive criticism, but it's valid criticism, right? The difference, my opinion to that is why I do have a lot of horse, which is one of the things I love about this horse, is that he's the perfect horse to allow me to grow into my riding. One thing that's good about me is I am such a patient, calm person that I will always do things to be safe first. And the way that I've ridden, I haven't had any accidents with him, knock on wood, like I'm not superstitious, but I know that could still happen, just even if he just tripped. I know the accidents can still happen, I'm aware. But I have been safe with him because of our relationship and our bond, despite myself. And I have gotten so much better because I've built up confidence in step after step after step, and skill at step after step after step. So we have become better together because of our calmness and our willingness to work together. Good boy, he knows that this way's home. Here, I don't need to hold on because it's smoother. Oh, that's those rocks, bud. There you go. Good boy. Now here, I will let him on his own volition choose to go and gallop like this. Good boy, because it's so fun. And also I know I can get him to stop. He's calm in his brain right now. Good boy. Oh, careful, don't trip. I was almost fell over. Good boy. One thing I did there, so I asked him to trot when I know he was wanting to trot anyway. So that really helps me teach him when I'm asking him to. So I do it in a moment when he wants to, as opposed to when I want to. So we can work on that communication. Now he's tired, which is good. I didn't force him to do any of that. He knows that this way's home, so he's more inclined to run. So I'll just let him run. If this is a race, I wouldn't let him do it quite like that because I don't want him to burn out. Oh, good boy. I'll let him relax for a second and then we'll keep going. But one thing I've learned with, again, training dogs or horses, if you can work on your cues at a time when they're very naturally inclined to do something anyway, like they're asking him to trot exactly when I knew he was going to switch gaits, it works with your communication. Good boy. Good trot. Now you might also ask, like, oh, am I asking him to go too quickly after that hard work? But nope, this is good for him. I know he's in shape enough. His heart rate is definitely elevated right now, but it's cool weather. This is fine. And here, my goal is to kind of keep him into a little bit of trot, maybe a slow canter, not that fast, because now here I want to do some long trotting. Now that he's kind of got the running out of his system. This is a great trail to just do long trotting. You okay? Keep going. Good. Now this part where I'm asking him to keep go, this is like, now I'm acting like a coach. Okay. Now I'm acting like a coach, getting him to actually build, even if he's a little bit tired. You can go to a trot, bud. There you go. Trot. He's breathing pretty heavy. Now I am aware of that. If you are unsure about your horse's fitness, this is a spot where you could think like, oh, I just pushed him pretty hard. I might walk him a little bit or something. I'm pretty sure he can handle this, though. I'm not too worried about overexerting him here. I am going to slow him down a little bit here just because it's a little bit downhill. And now if he wants to canter, it's okay. But once he stays on this track. Okay. If he wants to do the fast trot, that's fine too. He doesn't have to brake. There you go. He's gonna try to go left here. Okay, there we go, good. Sometimes he tries to do left there because that's a more direct route. Big hole there. Good job. Let him run up that hill, that's great. I walk up so many hills that every now and then running up a short little hill is so good. It's a very, very gentle grade. Good boy. You okay? He's looking around because he knows that he wants to go that way home. I'm going to give him just a break for a second. Today's workout, the hard part for him is going to be, and this is something I've been working on. He knows that this way's home, so he's really willing to run out. What I've been working on though is getting to the point where he knows we're basically going home, and then turning around, doing it in the reverse. Because that's like, to him, is like a, what the heck? I was done. The reason I'm doing that is because I want him to listen to me, to how to meter his energy, not to just run for the sake of running. You might feel like that's like a bait and switch because I let him run. I don't feel that way. I'm not trying to trick him or use him. I'm just trying to get him to really be in tune with what I'm asking. If I had to choose that whole stretch, I would really like just kind of a smooth, slow end canter, not like his near top speed. He's not a super fast horse, so that was kind of almost his top speed. Not quite full top speed, but almost. So if I had to choose, I'd like to get that area into like just a calm canter, kind of the equivalent of a fast jog for example. And this way I see him lean left here. Because that way is the direct way to the gate, but this way is the trail. So he takes a second to realize like, okay, you're gonna make me do the trail again. Trot out. Stay in the path. Just trot, you're okay. If he wants to run, that's like, this is the canter I'm talking about. Calm, this is a much calmer, slower canter. Good. Then slow up. Good. The reason I want to slow up right there is because again we go down this little hill. Oh. Good. He doesn't want to go straight down this hill, so I will bring him even all the way down to a walk. There's two trails here, one up there and one down here. And I want him to do this one. Good. Now he's allowed to get back to speed like he wants to if he's going the direction I want. So I don't mind if he gets back into a trot without asking here, as long as he stays in the trail that I'm asking. Good. A little rocky here, so he'll slow down naturally because of his feet. And then less rocky here. Good. Good. So again, I'm not the best rider, but one thing I am is I'm very in tune with him, and I'm aware, or try to be aware of what he's feeling. Like again, like this is slightly more rocky. It's away from home. His mental state of mind, his mental fortitude, what he wants, what I want. I know the training plan, he doesn't, because I can't communicate that to him. So I just try to keep in tune with what he's feeling. His energy level, how hard he's breathing, how much he's sweating, temperature outside, all this stuff. His gait, he feels still really normal, no soreness, no limps. try to pay attention to all that. So again, I'm not a great rider, but I do try to listen to my horse. Trot on. Good. This is great right here. Switch diagonal. What are you sniffing? I love this pace here. So calm. Look at this. So calm. Another thing I just know as an athlete myself is I know that asking him to keep trotting here, even though he's worked hard, is totally possible for him. I know I'm not pushing him too hard. I know that because as an athlete myself, if I just ran like a hard segment, I could do a jog here, easy. Well, maybe not easy, but I could. Good boy. Give him some loves. This is what I call a recovery jog. So just so you know, if you're working your own horse and you're worried about whatever, this pace I consider active recovery, or the equivalent to like a human zone, just barely the border of green and yellow as far as like heart rate zones. Keep going. I want him to keep going there. So this is for a horse. This is, I'm not really pushing him. And I don't have a heart rate monitor, but I've just ridden him enough to know kind of where he's at physically. And again, I compare that to myself. Like if I was running a jog here at this portion, totally possible. Not out of the question as a coach to ask. Good boy. This is the type of thing you do to build endurance. Not necessarily strength, but endurance. About 8 months ago, there's a dead animal here. Looks like it's kind of been taken care of by nature. Switch my diagonal. Good. Keep going. You're okay. Right here? Nope. Nope. I'm gonna slow him back, pull him back into the trail. Come on. There we go. We're not going home yet. That's a shortcut. Again, a shortcut home. It's to the left. So when he's like doing these little, attempting to do these little shortcuts homes, don't think of your horse as being obstinate or ornery or like scheming against you or being bad. Those are all wrong ways to think about it, in my opinion. He's just being smart. He's thinking like, that's the fastest, most energy efficient way home. Why would I not do that? Right? That's just intelligence. If they were a wild Mustang, whatever, and that's the fastest way to water or lush food, of course you'd go that way. You're not gonna waste energy in a natural environment running around for no reason. Humans are like one of the only creatures that waste energy just for working out. Animals don't do that. So again, he's not plotting against me, trying to do bad. In fact, if your horse does stuff like that, but still goes the way you want, like he's doing, I am so appreciative of him for going against all of his core instincts to do something that I'm asking. That to me is what's amazing for these animals, is that they do what we want and what we ask the majority of the time, even though everything that their instincts tell them says to do something different. So don't think your horse is bad. Try to think of it from their viewpoint and rather appreciate what they're doing for you, which is amazing that they're willing to do it. It just shows, I mean, that's why I love him so much, is because he's so willing and he tries so hard, even though he, and your horse too, is smart enough to know that that little trail cuts off quite a bit of time. So that's my rant of switching perspective to how you think about your horse and your horse training and them being naughty or not. They're very rarely, it takes a lot to get a horse to be naughty. And if they're being naughty, it's because you've generally trained them to become that way because they found it's the best way to get release from some sort of unwanted pressure. In which case, don't beat yourself up, just change. Find out what it is and change, or ask for help to change, because sometimes that's hard. I'm not beating up on you either, just stating the truth. Okay, trot out. Good boy. Look at that willingness to go. So good. Careful here. Bush there. Just tall bushes. There we go. You're navigating them really good. Now there's a part of the trail here. I always accidentally find myself going left when I want to go right. I think I see it. This way? Okay, we found it this time. This way. Yeah, good boy. So that one is the one I usually accidentally take, but this is the one I want. Stay on it. You're good. You're good. Switch my diagonal. Good boy. I also frequently monitor any contact point of any of my tack, make sure it's not rubbing, make sure it's not being sore. So in this case, the breast collar, the little metal clips, joints, I want to keep an eye on those. They've been good for years, but that doesn't mean I don't actively check on them all the time. Easy. Now he instantly wants to pick up speed here because this way is the way home. So the interesting thing that I'm going to do, so this is one spot where I will enforce my will of keeping him at this same trot pace or slower. So one time we got here and he just galloped off because he knew it was home. Here along the fence. So I'm gonna make him walk. It's a good recovery. Plus, I want him to like walk home rather than do that thing where they get all antsy home. Man, I still missed the exact trail I wanted. But that's okay. There's another trail that I'll show you when we turn around here. I'm gonna go about maybe a half mile this way, almost to the gate, but not all the way. And then we're gonna turn around and we're gonna do the same loop in reverse. And just like I mentioned earlier, that same loop in reverse, the training point of that is to get them not just gate sour or trailer sour or barn sour, but to realize we have to do the work regardless of which direction it is, whether it's home or away from home. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Those are really good breathe outs. See, already, I can just tell by his breathing, he's probably not like a, I don't know, no, he's not, his pulse isn't 36 right now, but it's back to like, I don't know, 52. He's looking really calm. Very recovered. Good boy. This part, again, I'm not gonna do it right now. We'll probably do it on the way back. This part is when we run back on this area, I would just like hold on because he just weaves in and out of these bushes. This will help you with your balance, help you be a better rider. There's no real trail here. And one time there's a semi truck on our right and we were like ahead of it and we outmatched speed the whole way home and I was just holding on. The real issue with going this way that I don't like to run is because it's downhill-ish. It's a very slight downhill. But this way, when it's a slight uphill, perfect for training. Slight uphills are your training friend. Good boy. It's good on the joints, it's good for strength, it's good for stamina, it's good for endurance. Again, I speak this my own running experience. Slight downhills are okay, they're good for speed, and you can still run on them, a horse or a person. Steep downhills are your enemy, in my opinion. Again, if you have different thoughts, that's fine. But steep downhills, whether it's me as a person, only time I'll run them if I'm doing a running race is if it's a race. If I'm in training, I very rarely run down a steep downhill because it's so hard on your joints. Similar for a horse, especially with a person riding the horse, my viewpoint is generally I will walk them or dismount. That's not a firm, fast rule. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% of the time, but I think of it in the context you only get to run X amount of steep downhills in your life before you hurt your joints. So choose which ones you want to run wisely. That's steep downhills. Partial downhills are generally okay. Gradual downhill. We're gonna get up to this little spot and then we'll turn around. Now watch, I'm curious, and we'll pay attention. I'm gonna check my time, 46 minutes. This might actually be almost a point where we'll change the battery again. In fact, I might pull the battery out because I don't think it's gonna last the whole ride back. So I got a battery out. Let me see if I can. So you guys, I'm gonna pause the video here. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep walking and then I'll change the battery and then for the turn home. So, be right back. Okay, we're back. I'm just plugging the, so I literally was offline there for just about 2 minutes letting him walk. If you guys are watching the video, second here while I get it plugged back in to the bracket. That's another thing I don't take for granted is how calm he is, like just letting the reins down and letting him walk. Even going home, he's not getting antsy, he's not trying to run off, it's just doing great. Part of that is because he's tired. Okay, grab my glove, make sure my pockets are zipped. They weren't zipped for part of that run, so I was afraid I lost my phone, but it's still there. And this is actually a good spot to turn around. Now, as I turn around, I want to see what his behavior is and his gumption as far as doing the loop reverse. Okay. Good boy. Because this is the part where he's like, what? I've just worked so hard. I want to go home. This is the whole training thing. See how that? It's like, what? That's okay. Again, this is where it's okay to have a little bit of begrudging compliance. This is also why I love Nico, is because, man, he doesn't understand what we're doing. But he's so patient. I know, buddy. Again, don't get mad at your horse. Just be patient with them. This is what we're doing, bud. It's okay. It's like, we're not going home. What's wrong? Let's go. Let's go. And you can tell that your horse, I think, is getting to the point of being pretty good trained when they do this relatively low complaint, no complaining. And he's complaining a little bit. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's way more zigzaggy on the trail because he's like looking for an escape. Come on, it's okay. And that's okay. I'm gonna just gently encourage him to listen to what I'm asking. Let's go. And I might not even run the whole way because I don't want him to think going away is a punishment. I just want him to think of it factually as like, oh, this is what we're doing. See how much more zigzaggy he is? That's okay. It's okay, bud. Come on. Here up to the corner of the fence, I might run him a little just to get him to consign once we get out of these bushes. I'm gonna ask him to run. Okay, let's go. Canter. Canter. There you go. Fast trot is okay. Just want him to be going faster than this guy's. Okay, come on. Now, if you think that he is lagging here or not cantering because he doesn't have energy, you're wrong. Like, I know 100% he's not burned out yet. This is something we got to learn for endurance, is going away from the trailer, sometimes even at a vet stop for multiple times. So that's why we're going to train it. And we haven't ridden long enough today where he's okay. We haven't had water. I'm even being aware of his water needs, etc. He'll be okay. If there was water right here, that'd be ideal, but there's just not. And I can't replicate that in the training. So, but he'll be okay. I know what he can take. Good. You're okay. I know. Keep going. There's one more segment here that I'm asking him to run here, and then we're gonna slow it down. Good. Okay, walk. I'm gonna walk just this short piece. Come on. This way. See, he's zigzagging because it's not, I'm gonna say it's not confusion, it's what the heck. I like to call it what the swear word. Yeah, come on. That's what he's feeling right now. He's feeling a little bit like it's unjust.
I did my work. I did my workout. So again, as a human, if I knew in advance that the workout was to do 2 laps, I'm much more mentally prepared for that. I can do it, you know, like I can go into the workout knowing that. As a horse, they don't know what I'm preparing for the workout. Because they don't know, this kind of stuff catches them off guard. If this was like, if I was doing a loop twice the length that I just did, you know, so I did about it's almost a 6-mile loop. If I did a 12-mile loop, that's a lot easier for them to understand because they know at the turnaround point they're going home. But again, that's the whole point. I have a 12-mile loop, but that's the whole point. I've been doing this 6-mile loop like this. I really want to train on this, that like, it's a little bit of trust. I'm not going to leave you stranded. I know when you need water. I know what you can take energy-wise. It's going to be okay. So that's hard though. Again, if this was me, my coach just kind of blindly told me this in a workout and I like all of a sudden had to do twice as much. That's what it feels like. And I've been there in workouts and it is hard. So I understand. And yeah, your horse doesn't though. Let's go. Trot here. Trot. That's again why I love horses so much and love Nico, is because it's mentally that is so hard. That's what I'm building, is mental toughness. That's kind of what I call this workout. Mental toughness, not trailer sour, not vet check sour. Come on. Good. Oh, you're okay. Run. Cam, let's go. Good. Keep going. Keep going. This canter is great. It also teaches him this calm canter because he doesn't want to run this way. So teaching him a really calm, controlled canter. Trot. Good. It's okay. Let's switch to a trot there. We're not going to walk the whole way on the loop because I do have to make it home in time or it's too dark. But I will walk portions because again, this is not a punishment. Keep going. What it is just a mental fortitude exercise. Okay, walk. Ooh, ooh. So now here, this is one part where we're starting to turn slightly home. We're not going to go home. We're not going to cut a sharp corner. But this trail does go home if you go straight long enough. So I'm going to walk. I want going towards the trailer to kind of equal a walk mostly, unless I ask for it. Plus this is slightly downhill. So this is part we'll walk a little. We'll kind of probably do walk trot transitions here. But that's another thing I've been trying to get away from in my training, is the idea of, I don't know, maybe it's kind of getting more outdated, but of just like, of punishment for, again, in general, or you know, even like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, so I might just stop. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I get this type of workout is not make the right thing easy, make the wrong thing hard. It's not that type of workout. It's literally just, I want them connected and trusting me enough to go do it. That's kind of more the mindset. This isn't the type of thing where, you know, like, I don't think that, so here's, I guess what I'm saying is, if you want your horse to be less herd bound, a common training exercise, which I'm not saying is bad, it's a fine training exercise, but a common training exercise is to work them real hard by their friends and then relax going away from their friends. That's okay. Some horses need that. I'm not dissing on you for doing that training exercise. That's okay. That's one way to kind of defeat the herd boundness or trailer boundness or whatever. I think that's Clinton Anderson. Again, it works. I've done some of it for him a long time ago when that's what we needed. That's not what this exercise is. So that's why I'm letting him walk here, and I'll still make him run in some spots and let him walk at some spots. This exercise is all about, hey, can you do what I'm asking, even though it's not what you want to do? That's what this exercise is. Sorry, that might be like way off track, but I'm always gonna just waffle on and talk to you. In fact, I have kind of a philosophy about herd boundness. I love your ears, bud. Thanks for pointing them at me. I kind of, one of my sayings is, if you have a herd bound horse, that's great. Just get them to be herd bound to you. One thing I've done out here a lot, and I'm not going to do it today for this video, is I'll come out and I'll bring him to the apex point, and then I'll dismount and we'll run home together. It's actually a lot of fun. Okay, drop. So this segment, it's actually going to be great to do some trot walk segments. It's good for the mind. It's good for them to get used to switching gaits. Good. And then ho, ho. I'm gonna slow him very slowly here. Good. Ho. Gonna kind of do like half halts with the reins. The reason I'm slowing him slowly as opposed to abrupt change to a walk is because it's slightly downhill there, and I don't know if all horses have it, but he has a hard time kind of slowing down on that slightly downhill. So I do it very slowly and gradually and give him plenty of notice that that's what I'm asking for. So what I'm saying is that's okay that that was not a fast, sharp, slow walk. We're going right here. It's interesting he's cutting left there. He usually likes to cut right. Oh, good boy. You okay? Good job. Good trot. To get to go to a trot, that's literally all it is just me saying trot. Sometimes he needs a little touch with the feet, but usually not. He's so good, so in tune. Good. And then ho, walk. The reason I'm going to have him walk here is because we are going directly away from home. This spot here is the breaking point. He wants to go that way to home. This spot, this way, is away from home, and he knows it. So I'm going to let him walk, and that's okay. I'm going to let him realize that kind of, again, to kind of bite my own words in the butt from earlier, the right thing is easy, is in this case. The correct way is easy here. The reason that I even mentioned that comment earlier about how I'm not using that philosophy specifically is because sometimes I will also work him in the right way. And that's okay too. I want a horse that can work and do hard things against what they want. So they can do the right thing, can be hard and easy at this level of training. Early stages of training, I think that's a really good philosophy to get your horse connected with you. This stage of training, I've been working with him for years. He trusts me enough to know that he can do hard things that are the right thing. That's my point. There's my point. The more your training advances, it's okay to have the hard thing be the right thing. Okay, what I want to do here is pull him into the track because he's leaning right. I want to pull him into that inside track. Good boy. If he's gonna weave, I want him to weave left, not right, because right is home. Good boy. See, even his head angle is kind of that way. I like how his head angle is. It's kind of low. He doesn't have a martingale on, so I love his head posture. I don't know if this is what they'd say is collected or I haven't studied a lot about collection. That's kind of, I think, the next stage of our training to help him be really energy efficient. Right now, I don't know that, so I'm sticking with just training stuff that I think is good for the both of us. Though I do know that that is very important. So again, with that qualifier that I don't know a lot about collection, I will say that I do like the state of his head because it shows me his calmness. I'm trying to not plow rein. Here where we're walking and going really gently, and I know he wants to go that way, I'm trying to not just plow rein. I also put this right rein on his neck, so it's more neck reining. Though, again, our neck reining isn't perfect, so it still is a little bit with the plow reining. But I am soft with how I do it. I don't just yank, I don't just pull, it's just a soft here. And a little bit with my right foot, kind of to keep his body in. No, he's not listening. There we go. And then I release really quickly when he's doing what I want. If I ask him to go faster here, he might break into a canter because he likes to canter a little bit on the downhills, but I'm gonna try to get him to go a little bit. Trot. See, I can be talking and he won't go until I say trot. Good. I don't want to do too much here because it's a slight downhill. I'm gonna go just to this bush. He's eking to the right. Nope, nope. Oh, lock. Nope. There I actually put a lot of firm pressure to the left, kind of in the plow reining, because he was really eking hard. I can't have him do that. Good. I'm not working on it today, but in a race or even sometimes what I'll do is this part I will dismount and go just because I want to. Today that's not what I'm working on though, so this would be a really good spot to dismount. I generally enjoy this area. It's a little bit downhill, gives his back a break, but again, it's just not our training plan today. Partially is why I have the GoPro. I want to get in much riding because I don't have a chance to film a lot while I'm riding with my phone. My Instagram and TikTok account has a lot of stuff where I'm on the ground walking him, but with the GoPro it's just so easy to film while riding. That's well, I'll just keep riding. You can see here this direction, just this gradual downhill, which again, when we ran up it this way, it's such a good run because it's the gradual uphill. Again, that, like I was mentioning earlier, that's such a good training environment. Gradual uphill, smooth terrain. Downhill, I want to be cognizant with how much I run it. We could run it, we have run it, but I do it purposefully, not just for the heck of it. Okay, get back here on the set track. You guys see, as soon as I'm not paying perfect attention, he's finding himself on that outside track where I said I wouldn't go. Good boy. The other thing that's hard for me to run downhill with this saddle, my other saddle does better, it's a little bit fit different, but this saddle, the fit, again, I need a saddle fitter, but the fit is such that he's kind of a downhill horse where it will eke up onto his neck because I don't have a crupper, so I kind of need to get a crupper if I run downhill. So that's another reason I kind of do it sparingly. Right here is good though. Trot. I know that the lens of the GoPro doesn't quite catch the angle or the grade very good. He tripped there because he's trying to eke right and I pulled him left. But it is definitely downhill here. Good. Stay left. And on this bend, we'll slow him again. Oh. We're gonna do a slow, let him have plenty of time to decelerate. Oh. I'm not looking for an instant walk here because the downhill is pulling him into the trot. Oh, oh, oh. I work in some areas where I want like a faster walk gait transition, but again, on these downhill trots, I don't mind. Good boy, itchy. If you're working, which I've worked on this for a long time, but if you're working on your horse, he's so itchy. Good boy. If you're working on your horse, to get a really good gait impulsion, in other words, holding a trot without changing gaits, holding a walk without changing gaits, whatever, doing that kind of exercise where you go for a little bit, trot, breathe first. Good boy. Okay, trot. You didn't instantly go because he's breathing out. This is the exercise to do, is just transition after transition, over and over. It's okay, I want to go right through that slow. Good. And then walk. I'm gonna sit down on the trot and get him to change gaits. I'm trying to slow him with my butt more than my reins, so we're not quite there yet, so I still have to use my reins as little half halts. I don't just pull on his face, I do it softly. But this is what I've been working on for a long time. I'm still working on it. We're not perfect, but it's made a huge difference. So just transition, 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 over and over and over, hundreds, thousands of times. Good boy. Nope, we're not. That's another way home. Nope. This part's gonna be hard for him. Nope. Okay. He's trotting because that trot change there was a little bit of frustration. Slight, not a lot, but slight. Because he wanted to go home there. Oh. And there he's running because he tripped and he's embarrassed. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just let him run it out. I'm not gonna punish him for it. I'm not gonna, of course I'm not gonna punish him for the trip. But what I mean is he started running there because he kind of wanted to go home, a little frustrated. I'm just gonna let him get out of the system. It's okay. Not worried about it. It wasn't a big blow up. If that was a big blow up, I'd emergency stopped him, even if it wasn't a fast speed. But that was just like a little protest. That's what that was. Because that spot in the trail over there is one where we commonly cut the trail to go straight back home. So, okay, nope. Walk. Now that one was different. He tripped and he kind of just like, he just wants to go. So that one I wanted to just stop and realize like, nope, just slow. I treat every instance as its own individual instance. Oh, this is muddy here, we don't want to go. And I do different measures in each instance because, again, it's all about our communication. It's not about just one rote, do exactly this if this happens. It's not a computer program. It's a human-horse, organic relationship. Okay, Trot. He's leaning. I'm gonna put my right foot on hard here. Okay, because that lean was gonna lean home. Good job, buddy. And it was leaning with his body. So when he's leaning with his body, I had the rein on the left, but I also want that outside right foot to keep his body in line. So if I just let him loose here, he would go home. So out here, because I demonstrated that and let him loose there, to bring him back. Come on. Now, you guys might not be able to see it in the camera very good. I don't know what the camera picks up exactly. His nose was flared there. His lip was tight. Not fear for sure. This spot is, of all the spots, this is a great demonstration. He's such a good horse for showing all these different emotions. He is a little bit frustrated. He's like, I've gone with you for 2 miles or whatever. I've done what you asked. Now I want to go home. But he's still going. He's still doing what I want. But this right now is begrudging compliance. And it's okay. I can let him be a little frustrated here. It's okay. See, nope. His lip is tight right now. And I think one thing to be, it's okay again that I'm asking him to keep going. I'm not putting myself in danger. I'm not ruining his mind. I'm not making him hate me. He's kind of, again, just kind of being a toddler right now. But I am, I am doing it on purpose. So again, sometimes in my training, I have listened to this and I'll go back. Okay, we're back. This time I just had him, sorry, I'm still fixing this stuff. I just had him stand still this whole time, so he's getting a little antsy, which is actually one thing I really am happy to train him on, because we don't usually train on much standstill calmness. And in fact, he's slowly pointed towards home, which is also okay. But for whatever reason, that battery, it's a knockoff brand battery. It's not GoPro brand. And even though it said it was 100%, it just died. Thankfully, we got one more battery. Hopefully it actually is charged, because it also is a knockoff brand. So if it does die, because it's crap. All right. But yeah, this is actually really good to just get him to stand still for a little bit. I bet his heart rate is already vet check-inable right now. Nope. He's taking a few steps. But I let him also mentally reset, because he was getting a little bit frustrated. Just slightly. I wouldn't even call it frustrated, but it's barely slightly frustrated. I can't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about, like, on purpose asking him to do something that he doesn't want to do, and and he's getting frustrated, because that's what I'm training on him today. So something like that. Good boy. Come on, get back in the track. I know you don't want to. We're gonna go on the inside track and then move out. I know. We're getting there. Okay, Trot out. I have noticed in this training before, doing similar stuff on this portion, I don't know what it's about this portion, but he just tends to get a little frustrated, which his frustration manifests in actually going faster. So he actually works harder because of his frustration. See, he's about to break gate here, just because he's frustrated. No, but he didn't. That was good. Good boy. In the past, he would have.
there he didn't break gait. Get to know your horse. Get to know what their trigger points are, what's making them frustrated, where their mind is at, and what you're asking them to do. See here, I'm asking him to change gait to a walk while also going the direction I want. Again, that's a little bit hard for him, so that's what I'm gonna do it. But yeah, pay attention to not just what your horse is doing. Don't think again of them as a bad horse. Think about why they're doing what they're doing, what they want, and then make a conscious choice of, nope, this is what we're gonna train today, is not what you want to do. Or, okay, you wanna go back home, we'll go back home today. The reason Nico trusts me largely is because, again, in some instances, I will listen and go home, but not today. Good. Even here, like I felt like he was about to break gait there again, just out of frustration, but he didn't. He's almost gonna go to a trot, a frustration trot, but he didn't. Good boy. He's mentally doing so good, even in something he doesn't want to do. Keep walking over these rocks. Big rock here, bud. Good. Now, if I ask him to go here, it'll probably turn into a canter real quick based on the grade. So I'm gonna walk a little bit further, just down this little hill. He likes to canter down hills, so he doesn't trot him very good. And then about here, I think we can get to a good one. Okay, trot. He might break anyway, that's okay. Okay. Tell him okay, so there he goes. Okay, good boy. He wanted to, so I said okay to let him. Keep going around. Nope. There it is, people. You'll see right here. Here's a trail that goes, that's a shortcut. And this is a definitive trail. It's one we take very, very frequently. So the frustration, it's almost equal to the amount that we take the trail. Because we take that trail more often than not, his frustration is greater because he thought this is the way to go. This goes back to my example earlier about barrel racing pattern. I don't want him to just think, oh, this is the pattern, this is what we always do. I want him to listen to me. So as soon as I pulled him left off of the trail he wanted to go, he threw a little bit of a fit, and it's okay. That is him in that's him, the equivalent of him, like if you're running on a race and it's almost like you're yelling at your coach, like, oh, this is hard. That's what it is. It's not him hating me. It's not him being ornery or bad boy. He just has no voice. So that's his only voice, is to say, this is hard. That's it. And then I don't make a big deal out of it. Don't punish him. I don't need to do a bunch of circles there. Some cases you might have to do stuff like that. But in this case, I know him well enough. I know what he's asking. I know what he's saying. And I know he doesn't need any form of punishment. He's actually still being a very good boy. He's just saying like, what's going on? Trot. You gotta take the time to kind of interpret what your horse is saying. Because to what you might seem a big deal that he kind of did that that little complaint, it's not a big deal at all. To them, it's just as easy as breathing. There's another trail. Come on. This time I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to walk him. I'm just going to keep him going. To them, that's just movement. They're just expressing their voice. They're speaking, communicating to you. And I, as a leader, just said, nope, that's not what we're doing today. Good boy. Now I do have to kind of keep a little bit of contact on the left side here. Contact generally makes him frustrated, but he's really pulling. It's all right. Good. And then right up there, I'm going to get a mental spot that I want him to trot to. And then at that spot, I'll ask him to walk. Good. Right here. I want to go just past that and then
I want him to go just past that. That was another trail point. Oh. Stop leaning. We're going this way. Nope. I'm gonna pull him over to this left track again. Okay, good. Good job. Good. Nope. Going this way. Trot. We're gonna trot to the top of the hill here. Okay, just doing these walk trot segments are so good. Even when he's frustrated, it's just so good. And notice how he's doing it. Like he's doing it just with minimal complaint. Oh, good boy, careful. The reason he's tripping a little bit here is because he's always trying to go left when I'm asking him, or go right when I'm asking him to go left. So it's not a matter of fault, it's just he needs to learn to sit in the pocket of the trail. Try to pull him back up. No. Okay, okay, keep going. I actually want him to walk here, but I'm gonna keep him going because that's what I did when I made the transition. And then walk. Ooh, good. I don't want him to think that all he has to do to like get me to ask him to walk again is by going to that right track. Nope. Nope. If he goes, here's he doing it. I'm gonna let him fully make the mistake, and then I'm gonna pull him back. In fact, I'm gonna pull him all the way up here. I'm gonna make him like go away from home until he realizes you gotta listen. There you go. Nope. And sorry, you watching and you know about the more aggressive plow riding. I do apologize. This portion of the ride, again, I know I could be better, but this portion isn't about me. I'll try to be softer, but it's about I'm trying to connect with his mind to just stay on this side. If you have advice on this portion, again, it is constructive criticism. Feel free to point it out. I think I do things pretty all right because we were getting better and better, but again, I'm always open to people who have suggestions. It's fine. There, good. See, I want him to be like this in the track. Good. Nope. Put my right foot on there just a little bit to keep his head in. I'm trying to not use the rein. So I know I'm trying to be soft. So I'm trying to say, I only plow rein there like twice, kind of aggressively because he was making pretty, I don't know the right word to say, big errors, but I don't think it, you know, it's not like an error. It's just, I want him to do something different than he was doing. He was doing a behavior I didn't desire. It's kind of, good boy. And now he's there. Good boy. I don't mind if he looks left. Left is fine. Even if he veered off left, I'd let him. Good boy. Good boy. And there I put just a little bit of the right rein on his neck. That's all that took. So he's getting good. Good boy. Okay, trot. Let's see if we can hold it in the trot. Good. Calm rein. No, almost. Good. Also, just so I know that he's not interpreting every time I say good boy or whatever. He doesn't really care. It's more, I more say it for me. It's more a verbal thing of kind of how I'm feeling, because he knows how I'm feeling. But verbal, unless you really train the horse to it, they don't care. It's more just for us. So, yeah, your horse generally doesn't care. Sorry to break your bubble. Most of the time they don't care. I mean, I know they're smart enough to learn the word. Not saying that, I'm not saying they're dumb. I don't think he's learned it though. I don't think he could give a crap. But I still vocalize it because for me it's like, oh, you know, I try to match my energy to my voice of calm, good, ooh, ooh. I do try to speak and think and feel, kind of manifest, you know, things. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're gonna walk here. There's rocks and it's down here. Ooh, ooh, slow, half halts, ooh. slow. Good boy. Anyway, feel free to talk to your horse. I talk to him even if I'm not filming. But don't be under the misconception that they really care. Again, so maybe yours does. My horse knows a few things. He knows TROT. He knows okay. He knows a cluck if I cluck. I don't think he cares about good boy because I haven't really taught him. I know. Good boy, I love you. Yeah. But what I do think he knows, I don't know to what extent, but I've read some things about how they can feel your heartbeat and all this stuff, your anxiety, your fear, your calmness. They feel all that stuff. So me vocalizing and saying things, it just helps me connect myself. I'm kind of a vocal person to him, so even if he doesn't care, I care, and I know he knows that I care. So that's all I care about. Good boy. Let him walk down this. It's kind of more difficult. Here, what I'm gonna do, good boy, I'm gonna keep him on this trail. And then ho, 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 oh, ho, 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 ho. I'm gonna ask for a very gentle stop. And then I'm gonna ask him to go home. This way to the right. Oh, he didn't even go. He didn't even take it. I asked for it, but here to the right is home. So once we find a good path, he's not taking it because it's being obstructed. Here we go. And then I'm gonna ask him to go home. So you saw he wants to eat a bite of grass. I'm more than happy to let him eat a bite of grass here because it's facing home. So you saw for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, that whole segment, he always wanted to pull right because that's the way towards home. Now when I'm finally letting him go home, I stopped him beforehand, so he knows that it is me specifically asking him to go home. And then if he wants to eat a bite of grass there, I'm A-okay with that because he's not being angsty to get home. In my mind, that to him was the equivalent of saying, hey coach, oh, we're going home now? That's great. I feel good. I actually feel more energy than I thought I did. Thanks for making me do that extra lap because that was good work for me. I'm happy about it. Now I'm ready to go home. Again, that's a big oversimplification of what he's actually saying. But he's saying he's happy. I mean, Nico doesn't eat if he's not feeling like pretty content. So that was good. I'll definitely let him eat there. That was not a disobedient bite. That was, frick, I'm feeling good. You're such a good boy. Yeah. I love his ears. We usually run this portion, so right now I'm so happy that he wants to be calm on it. Because again, it goes into the thing of we don't always have to be drilled into our brain to do just one thing. It's actually funny too, when I'm commenting on it, you hear me kind of talking in a quieter tone when I'm talking about running or trotting or whatever. See, my tone, I can say the word trot as long as I say it calmly without the intention of actually having him do it. Horses can read the difference between your intention and what you're actually doing or saying or your body language. So my intention was to not have him trot right there, even though I'm saying the word. He knows, and he heard me say it, but he knows that I'm not asking for it. Horses are incredibly they're incredibly in tune with your body language and your tone of voice and what you're saying and what you're asking. Because I'm sitting deep in my seat, not asking him to actually trot, he knows. Oh, good boy. That was a spook there, by the way. Something moved out there. Here in a second, I'll show you what I mean with the word trot. Horses are actually just incredible readers of intention versus action. I'm having him walk here because somewhere out here in this area is that boot, which I didn't see on the way out. That shoe. I don't have high hopes of finding it because if it flung, it could be anywhere 6 or 8 feet on either side. It's just sad because I've got 3 of them. It's a shame to lose just one, so I don't have the full set to reapply. But such is life. It's our first lost shoe, huh, bud? Guess we lost the scoot boots, but those aren't shoes, those are boots. Okay, down at the bottom of this hill, I'll show you what I mean with the intention. Good boy, let him go calmly down this snow. Yeah, I don't see that shoe anywhere. So if I say here and I just say like, and I have no intention of going, I'll just say, oh, he wants a piece of grass. It's a bad spot to demo it, so I'll wait till he's done. If I just say trot here, it doesn't matter. I can say trot here, it doesn't matter. But if I say trot, of course, I clucked there too. That was just to get his attention more, but. So again, it's not a perfect example, but it's a pretty good one because I didn't have any change with my feet. I didn't kick him. It was all in my seat and my voice. So not a perfect example, but an okay one. He might try to run here. Actually, I might slow him down just to say, ooh, good boy. His instinct here is to just go run because that's what we usually do. So instead, ooh, I'm gonna let him walk. Ooh, let's see if we can do the trot example with him. Ooh, good boy. Ooh. This is a flat surface, not downhill, so I expect a little bit faster of a slow down to a walk. So he did pretty good there. Not perfect, but pretty good. So here again, I'm gonna try it again, see. It might not work, we'll see. I'm gonna just sit deep in my seat and say trot. Trot with nothing. Now I'm gonna sit up, trot. There you go, no cluck, no legs. That's it. It's just a change in seat and the word. And you notice my voice inflection saying it in the different times. I mean, horses are in tune to that stuff. It's really cool. Good boy. Oh. Good boy. And then ho. I had him walk for two reasons. He was kind of getting off he's trying to find a good path. He kind of lost track of it. It's sorry you guys are listening to all my observations, but horses are so cool if you're really paying attention. That time, even though home is to the right, he was not eking home that time. He was not trying to like cheat home. That was not it at all. That time he eked to the right or slightly went to the right just because of how his mind perceived the trail with the bushes and how they were. He was looking for the easiest path. That's all that was. Totally different. And I can tell just because I've ridden him so much. But if you're paying attention, you can see kind of the differences in how they are. And it's actually so cool. And that's why you hear the excitement of why he's commenting on it. Because horses are just so amazing. And if you're listening, they speak to you so clearly. Oh, buddy. They're such intelligent animals and they have so much personality. Horsenality. If you guys want to see him get crazy here. Right up here, we might. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Okay, let's go. You can go. Oh, he didn't take the bite. He didn't take the bait. So right there, I was kind of seeing if he would just go into a run, but it's okay. I'm not going to force it because this guy's getting a little dicey, but right up here, I'll let him. I was seeing if he would do it, so. Stay in the path and then you can go. Okay. There you go. I waited till a really open, good, clear path and then let him go. Good boy. Even at this pace, look at his ears when I talk. He's still paying attention. Oh. Okay. Oh, good boy. And let him slow. I'm not going to slow him quickly at all here. I don't care about some sort of reining stop because the ground is so uneven. I'm going to let him stop at his own pace. Oh, good. If I like pull on his face hard there, again, you guys think like, oh, he didn't stop to a walk like when you ask. Like, no, he did so good with that. Okay, I cannot tell you how proud of I am in that section. So if you look into the Antelope Island Part 3, I don't know what minute it is. I'll try to tag it after I do some editing on the video, where he is kind of getting angsty with the other horses, kind of race brain. This is a perfect juxtaposition to what he just did there. He was running at a little canter. That wasn't a gallop. It was just a little canter. And if I spoke, you saw his ears look at me. I mean, so much. His brain was calm. His brain was under control. He was listening. He was in tune. It's beautiful. And then when I asked him, whoa, to slow down, yes, it took a second to get him to slow down, but I wasn't pulling on the reins. I was just kind of communicating to him with my seat and with my voice. And he still did slow down. And it just took him a second. I don't care if it's like a raining dirt stop where they put their butt into the ground. I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for connection and listening. And the thing is that he still did it despite the terrain being really cracked. If I pull on him really hard there, he could hurt himself because he's trying to stop and listen to me while also just being a horse and trying to stop and get his feet under him. So that whole segment in my book, that was like, of this whole ride, this whole video, that segment there, 10 out of 10, really good. So proud of him for that kind of connection, because that's taken a long time for us to achieve. I'm explaining to you from my viewpoint why that was so good, even though it looks like so inconsequential. It wasn't a perfect instant stop, no. It wasn't like a really fast gallop, who cares? It was his mind being connected, and that to me is worth $1 million. I feel like as riders, we feel like we can only be safe if we have control. We'll never have control. We're safe when we have connection. Good boy. Yeah, you can run here. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you can't control a creature X amount bigger than you. You can guide and you can give input, but not control. I could maybe yank on his face and do a one rein stop, yes, but that's about the extent of it. But with connection, you're really safe. I'm gonna let him run here a little. Let him choose his own gait. This is home, so he's wanting to go home, but this, okay, so that whole area where I was asking him to go away from home and he's listening, this is his reward to kind of, now he gets to choose. And that's okay. He's not getting like a, see here my reins? He's not getting, what's the word? Gait sour or home sour. He just wants to run a little bit, be a horse. It's okay. He's not being dangerous, he's not being unsafe. If I wanted him to stop, we could. He's still connected. But every now and then, he gets to have a say in the relationship. And right now, this is what he wants. I am happy to allow it. Ooh. Oh. 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 See, he still was slow when I asked him. The reason I'm asking him is because I'm a bad rider and I lost a stirrup there when he jumped that because he lost the trail. But that's fine. Good boy. Okay. You can trot. Oh, actually, let's get to the gate. Let's get to the gate. But yeah, here this is where it's fun with actually riding and being a partnership. Again, in that whole stretch where I was asking him to do what I wanted him to do and he was listening and being an amazing boy, even if he was leaking a little bit trying to go home. Now he is getting to go home. And if he wants to run, man, that's awesome, isn't it? Okay, you can go. So right here, there I didn't push him. All I did was loosen my rein and moved my seat to a spot where he could run if he wanted to. And he did it on his own timetable. That's also fine. He wanted to walk there for a second, that's okay. Good boy. I'm steering slightly just to choose the safest path because I know this trail's okay, but only slightly. I don't want to I want to mostly give him his head. So he wanted to stop running there and go to a trot. Great. Just guiding him to the path, not steering really, letting him be a horse. Let your horse be a horse, and this is just amazing. Good boy. If I'm unsure of the path, I totally give him his head. All right, and I'll hold on to the pommel too because just to stay on my seat. Because I'll let him zig and zag a little bit. He's pretty athletic, so sometimes he goes sideways at a faster rate than my butt can handle. Okay, here. Oh. Now here. Oh. 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 I'm going to slow him down because it is getting just a little bit downhill. I want this little bit of more slower controlled trot. And it's a little more, the shrubbery is a little more intense. Oh, the vegetation. I don't want him jumping. Oh, yeah, gotta keep my seat. All that part where you see me trying to hang on, that's because that's me learning how to be a good rider. That's not anything other than that. not his fault. Which, saying that, give myself a little credit, it does take some balance to ride in this crap without great trails. And again, he's so small and athletic. It is a challenge. Ho, 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 ho. I'm pulling really hard here because this is a little bit of a divot. It's not much, but I don't want him to like have a false step. Good boy. You know how you're walking and your brain like thinks that you're gonna meet the ground, but the ground is deeper than you anticipated, so it kind of can hyperextend. That's what that little that divot is, just enough where it could cause that. Again, horses have really good perception of that kind of stuff, but also I'm gonna help prevent it by guiding him to slow down there. No point taking risks we don't need to. Good boy. That's how I'm generally safe in this environment. We don't trip. He's athletic enough to catch himself, but also I know the ground well enough to prevent random accidents most of the time. Again, random stuff can still happen, but thank heavens, very grateful that it hasn't. I love you, bud. And I also will take a moment to point out, as far as you endurance trainers, endurance riders perspective or whatever, as far as you're getting your horse in shape. So you've seen the whole workout. We've done the majority of the hard work. This today was not a hard workout. It's actually pretty easy. This is a workout that you guys can do. It's not with an average fitness horse. And if we were to take Nico's heart rate now, I bet it's really good, probably at 48. He's not breathing. He is fine. We could go do this both ways, both laps. We could do another 12 miles just fine. We're not going to, but we could. So anyway, if you're trying to get an eye for what to look for in your conditioning regimen, a workout like this is great. We're intermittent trot walks, stuff like that. See his ear when I said the word, but he didn't go because my seat didn't say to go. Plus a little bit of that running section. Great workout. This is a really good fitness maintainer, which is my goal for today. My goals are twofold: fitness maintenance and mental fortitude. Okay, I'm gonna go real slow here because that snow is slippery on the downhill. I'm gonna still ride it because it's good for us both, and I want him to be really sure-footed. Oh. Let's go this way. I could do that, but he isn't confident with it, so I'm gonna allow him, in this case, to do what he's more confident with, which is this way. Sometimes it's good to push your horse into things that, oh. Now I'm gonna slow him again here. There's a huge pothole right up here that he always forgets about. Up here, trust me, a huge pothole that I think the snow is hiding. Right there. Good boy. Okay, now you can go. Sometimes you need to know when to like push your horse to like expound their confidence boundaries. In other words, when to push him down that little hill. That hill was not technical at all. We could have done it for sure. But I just didn't want to today, so we didn't. So I'm gonna, right now I'm really in the mode of I want to reward his brain, because I can't literally just, if I could just turn the ride off right now and say, great job, you did a great job, I would, because the session was so good. But because I can't just turn it off, everything I do from here until home is going to be just, man, you did such a good job, buddy, type of things. We're done with my implementation of the training. I'm done. Everything that I wanted him to do, he did, and he did it admirably. So everything from here on out is just all reward and love and good boy and stuff. No strenuous activity needed from here on out, mental or physical. And that's my version of just turning off the training. You know, I'm not in training mode anymore. I haven't been holding onto the reins for 10 minutes. Well, a little bit of steering back. You know what I mean. I love you, Nico. I don't know why he wants to go this way. And now as I say that, I'm gonna force him to keep going this way. It's that bush. That bush is dark and the shadows are on it, but this is okay. It's okay. I'm not a hypocrite. This is the way we need to go. That way would be, he doesn't know it, but that way is much more unfun than this way. I'm not a hypocrite. this bush. That's what it was. It looked spooky in the shadow with the changing daylight. Do you know how I know it's that bush? I just know because he told me. Make it have. Okay. You want to? I don't think you want to run here, but I'm gonna let it. It's so rocky. I don't really love it, but again, it's your choice. Now, as much as I've said it's his choice, there is one spot up here. I'm gonna sprint him home. I love this little sprint home section that we do, and the reason I do it is because I actually think he has fun too. It's not a training thing. It's more of just us having fun together. So I will ask him for it at the top of this hill. Good boy. With shoes on, I love to kind of do a little faster up this hill because it's such a good strength workout, but without shoes, I'm gonna unwalk it. So again, like I just said, like the training part is over. That is true. I'm not a hypocrite. But up here, I am going to ask him to run, not for training, but just because I love my horse, and I think that I think you'll see. He'll tell me if he doesn't want to do it. You're such a good boy. Yeah. You gotta just get the sniffs in. You ready? He's not ready, so I won't ask him yet. Wait till he's ready. You ready? You ready? I'm building up my energy. Okay, let's go. You ready? Let's go. Yeah. Nico is not a thoroughbred. This is not super fast, but for us, it's great. And I think he wants to too. He just needs the permission. So this isn't me forcing him to do something he doesn't want. I think he's happy here. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. All right, so I'm gonna slow him up in plenty of time because it's worse footing and he doesn't realize that. I'm still giving him plenty of time. Now, if you've seen like videos on Instagram or TikTok where the horse is running to something and then they slide and fall over at the gate because they didn't plan it very well, that's what he would have done if given the opportunity. Good boy. So that's why I slowed him down on purpose. Now, we don't have a perfect side pass, but this is something we can do. Okay, back up, go on. So that's why I slowed him down there, though, is because I didn't want to I didn't want to have any skidding stops at the gate where he misjudged his footing in this slightly more damp ground. Okay. Oh, and then ho. And you guys, just the fact that we can do the gate this easily is miles ahead where we used to be. So I know that wasn't perfect with all sorts of fancy side passing and stuff. Hey, if I can do it while I'm in the saddle, I am so happy with it. So even if it's very ugly and requires me to reach a little bit, the cool thing with that gate close is I'm trying to teach him side passing, by the way, at home in our training sessions. But the cool thing is I've never actually trained him any of that. We've just done it so many times that he's just learned kind of how we do it. So the good and the bad with that. The good is it shows that he's a really smart, cool horse. The bad is it's not very applicable as far as carryover to other gates, only minorly, because we're good at that gate. But if another gate comes along, for example, this one up here, that is slightly different, we struggle with it because our exact mechanics aren't great, but that's okay. Here, I've just been letting him eat, not giving him any input. This is where, again, he's done. Okay, so you know how I mentioned a minute ago where, like, I said, if it is all possible, I'd say the training is done, right? And just let him back into his pasture. This is the equivalent of that because the horse doesn't realize that we are still training. He thinks that we are done because he is now being allowed to just do what he chooses. He is, and this shows me he is super comfortable here. He doesn't care that we're home. He's comfortable here with me. So in his mind, for all intents and purposes, our training actually is done. He's done everything I've asked him. He knows that his work is done. And that's what's cool with horses is we as the human are the one that puts labels on things of like, oh, we're still training right now. Just because I'm sitting on his back, nope, our training is done. His workout is done. He's still connected with me, but mentally he knows that he's learned what he needs to. He can relax and eat. This is just now natural horse behavior. See, he's grazing and walking. And the fact that he's willing to graze and walk just tells me that he's happy being out here with me, and he doesn't have this burning need to be home instantly. He wants to trot there a little bit, that's fine. So yeah, again, like I always try to think of what the horse is thinking or feeling. And to me, what he's thinking and feeling right now is like, oh, I'm done working. This is great. I get to just hang out. I go walk home slowly and casually, eating whatever I want, sniffing whatever I want. I will still give him input. By the way, here moving on, I'm letting him relax, but I'll still give him input just so we get home in time before it gets super dark and cold, because I got to dry him out before I let him loose. But this also will dry him out naturally too. So anyway, for any of you watching the video, I will keep recording as long as the battery lasts. It will die, I think, before I get home, and this is my last battery. But if you want to clock out here, that's totally fine, because for all intents and purposes, the training portion is done. So if you're done with hearing me talk a lot, everything is done. All we're doing the rest of the way from here for the 2.8 miles home is this, letting him relax. We'll still do a few trots and stuff, but overall, by and large, the training portion is totally complete. Here, Mr. You're back to the trail there. Still, the other thing, the reason it's actually really cool that he wants to even wander off that way at all, because this is the nowhere. I mean, this is the way that's home. So he has actually, other than water, which I know he needs, he doesn't have any urgency to get home, which is really cool to me, that I know he would just like stay out here with me if I asked him to. His urgency is kind of completed because he knows he's done the workout. This way. Now I'm the one that has the urgency to get home, not him. Up at this gate, I will have to dismount. In fact, what I'll do, just to get as much riding footage as I can, is at this gate when I dismount, I'm going to walk him all the way back down to the main road. So it's about a mile walk. It's the hill that we walked up on the way over here. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the GoPro for that segment so I can save the battery for the ride home. So just so you guys know, after I dismount up here, I'll turn off the camera. Oh, good boy. And as that stop, by the way, no reins. All's that stop. Oh yeah, get your itches. All's that stop is a hoe and how I seat. I put my feet a little bit out, which is actually, some people told me that that's not how you do it, but that's how we do it, and that's how he learned it. So that's how we do it. Come on up. It's funny how things become ingrained just because that's the way you commonly do it. Oh, you itchy still. Oh, oh, good boy. Yeah, you can be a little itchy. I know. Okay, come through here. I'll itch you once we get through here. Let me get the gate first, bud. Walk out. Oh, wait for me. Wait for me. Come here. Come here. Hey. Good boy. You got distracted. Okay, I'm gonna give him some itches here. Yeah, good boy. Sorry, you guys, you can't see in the camera. I can't control it here. It's fine, but suffice to say that I'm giving him some pretty rigorous itches, huh, Bobby? Good boy. All right. Oh. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to say that he can eat. That's what he's looking for there. Okay. Good boy. Okay, let's walk out. I will say one last thing before I turn the camera off. If you do not like your horse invading your space and stuff, you can meter how much you let them itch or not itch like I do. I let him do that because I have zero fear of this horse hurting me. He walks behind me all the time like he is right now. We've trained a lot with this stuff. He does not invade my space. That itching and that kind of where he gets pretty aggressive pushing on me. It's because I allow it and because I kind of like it. So, oh, sorry, careful, bud. So do what works for you. A lot of people say don't ever let your horse do that. I do it because it works for our relationship and I am not in danger. Anyway, I'm gonna pause here. We're gonna make a mile walk to the...
Man, it's so dark, so that you can see. Here he is, he's just chilling. I know it's not focused there at all. It's because this bright background. I'll walk on this side. Yeah, I never really tie him up. I'm gonna take off his side pole here in a second. I put on this coat defense powder to dry him out, and yeah, he's like dry everywhere, so he's good to turn back out. He just needs some water up at the paddock. I'm gonna put on his halter there. My stuff just scattered, and then I'm gonna take care of all my gear. I always take care of my horse and then I take care of my gear. So he's getting some alfalfa to warm back up. Yeah, this white is the powder, by the way. That's not any saddle mark or anything. Anyway, just wanted to show you what he's looking like, how he's doing, and he's a happy boy. Sorry for the darkness. Cheers. Okay, I don't like filming a lot in the dark, but we are back. We're safe. He is all unsaddled and stuff, and you can't see, but I'm going to, from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check every sweat spot, every saddle mark, make sure it's all good, dry them completely off. It's not cold enough to not need a blanket, but I do need to get them all dry. So dry them completely off before I turn them back. It got dark really quick. So there at the end, when I tried to refilm, the battery just didn't turn on at all. So I guess we timed it just right. So we just did the 2 miles unrecorded. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Let me know any of your thoughts in the comments. Follow, like, whatever. As always, I'm open to constructive criticism, and let me know if you'd like more rides like this with commentary or if you'd like some rides that are just kind of more ASMR, me shut up and just ride. I'll probably be doing both, but let me know what you prefer. But as always, I appreciate you. Cheers, take care, and we'll see you in the next ride. Happy trails. Cheers.